Hi, Terry Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. And just if you think you're not on the Friday, what's the date? 27th? You are, okay? Friday the 27th. Terry's hands are up. I know that's the right one. Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. Terry Hardin, how are you on this sunny Friday? I'm doing it's amazing. The week just whooshed by. And for those of you who are just joining us, today is Ask Me Anything, which means you can post your questions here in the comments. Ask Me Anything is absolutely correct. You can ask me just about any question and I will answer it. Let me just fix my camera. It's a little wacky. Must have bumped it. And also, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. Basically, the annual passes. I think the annual passes might actually still be available. Let me know in the comments. If you're seeing this and it's not live, you're watching it later, welcome. This is a channel that is about me and my crazy life, pretty much. I've done Ghostbusters. I was the Terror Dog and the Marshmallow Man and helped build the Marshmallow Man. I was puppeteer for the face of Marshmallow Man. My friend Billy was inside. And I've done Indian in the Cupboard. I've done Country Bears. I've just tons and tons. Just Google Terry Hardin and you'll see everything that I've done. I built Dragon's Lair, Big Thunder Mountain for Paris. The boat you ride in at Walt Disney World, Splash Mountain, for now, has my rabbit on the front of it, and people are saying, Terry, ask about getting one of those rabbits. Yeah, well, I'll see. Okay. But the point of the matter is there's lots happening in the world of Disney. I don't always talk about Disney. This is a very unusual YouTube channel. So it goes long because I go long as the questions are. And you may not want to do that, but you can come back often and just watch it in spurts if you like. It's completely up to you, but I'm not teaching you necessarily. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I'm not teaching you necessarily how to be a YouTube star, or I'm not critiquing a famous movie or a famous TV show like Shark Tank or Bar Rescue. It's not me. But what is me is positive energy. You can tell if you're kind of sleepy. You can't be sleepy on my channel because I'm really wired for sound. And that's just because I'm a morning person. This is why it happens at 9:25 every Monday and Friday and not at 5 p.m. Pacific. I also am an artist, so I get so busy I need to drink my breakfast. So forgive me for drinking that on camera, but if I don't, So the main thing I wanted to talk to you about is that it looks like Disney still has annual passes. Can you confirm in the comments if they're still available? If you went shopping today and you got one, it probably will take you just that fast. But I made the decision on Wednesday, the 25th, when they were first available, to go right at 10 o'clock and get it done. Okay. I made the decision that that's what I was going to do. And I wanted very much to, let me just pause here for just 2 seconds. Collect my thoughts for 2 seconds. Okay, got it. I needed a particular level of pass in the Magic Keys, and that was the pass that gave me parking. So when you're thinking about an annual pass, maybe you bought one already, post in the comments your thoughts or your processes. I decided it had to be Wednesday first thing in the morning. And the reason was because I wanted parking. And I didn't know how long those passes would last. They are a pricey pass. I'm not even going to tell you they're not. However, as an artist and Disney artist, I go to see you. Number one, what does that mean to me? That may not be necessarily your situation. So it's not me bragging. It's just me kind of letting you know my thinking process. All right. The top pass is the best pass for me because in 2019, before the pandemic, I was at Disney parks 45 times. And this is probably, if I was going to be conservative, my average is about 30. And if you multiply 30 times the price of the ticket, the pass is a great deal, that top pass, right? The Dream Key Pass. Plus parking. I have to have parking. That is the number one thing I need. Merchandising, meh. Not that I'm saying merchandising is not cool, but I'm a Disney artist. I'm making my own, okay? So I rarely buy. I do accumulate points. So if I visit you and you have little kids, I sometimes use my Disney Visa reward points to get your children something fun, and you don't have to pay for it. And I'm happy to do it if I visit. Doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of times it does. So for me, I wanted the Dream Key Pass, and I wanted it because of parking. If I couldn't get the Dream Key Pass, I would have had to make a strong decision as to whether or not I wanted a pass at all. Because the reality is, when people want me to visit, they will pay for my ticket. I'm an Imagineer, and just think about how fun it would be to have Imagineer walking around with you in the park and talking to you, only the way a Disney Imagineer can do. Well, I'm happy to do that. I live close to Disneyland, and if I'm free, I love to come and see you and visit, and at least we can have a coffee. The other thing I love about the passes is that I can come for a couple of hours and leave and not feel bad about it. Because if you're going 45 times, 30 to 45 times or more, you start, that's tough on the budget. And so this is the pass I wanted. So basically my decision was Wednesday morning to get in the queue right when it opened and wait as long as it took to get the pass. I didn't care. Honestly, I have a Zoom call that I do with my tribe on Patreon. And I'm going to show you, if you want to be part of the of Terri's tribe, here's where you go. You go to patreon.com/Terri Hardin, and you can be a part of Terri's tribe for $5 a month or $60 a year. Basically, you get 2 broadcasts, which happen live before this one, and you get the Zoom call. Now, I may reduce that to 1 live, but you're always going to get the Zoom call and at least 1 live per week. I'm thinking about that because I'm getting busier and busier, so I may not be able to do Monday and Friday, but don't panic. Right now, I'm still doing it because I'm just fine with it, okay? Yay! Super. Awesome. Yay. So anyway, you can go here, be a part of the tribe. We do all kinds of things, including the Zoom call. You share with us what's going on in your life. If you're having some trials and tribulations, we talk about that as well. We're there. Originally I thought it would be a long version of Ask Me Anything, but what it turned out to be was they just want to have a conversation with me, and they give me their opinion. I'm always asking their help. And so if you want your voice to be a part of that, please consider joining the Patreon page. But during our Zoom call on the Patreon page, when we were on Zoom call, I was in the queue of getting my Magic Key Pass. And so was one other person who was on the Zoom call. So we were measuring how long. There's a bar, and it would spin like a little snake, and it would get longer and longer so that you would show you when you were going to get to go into the queue to buy the pass. So it's fun and go. If you're a D23 member, somebody told me it was a little Running Man. If you are someone who is on the Disney cruises early, not of course during the pandemic, it was the fish that made shapes. So it's all there. Disney always makes it very entertaining. And so that is the deal. So there we were on the Zoom call chatting about whatever. And I was sculpting when the Zoom call was done. Basically, it took me about 3 hours to get my pass, but it was just running in the background. It wasn't like I was outside the queue area in the hot sun at Disney waiting to get to the ticket booth and cooking myself to death. That would have been a real drag. But I was in the comfort of my home. I could have had the laptop on my lap. I could have been watching a movie, having a cola, whatever. It was lovely. Absolutely lovely. And after about 3 hours, bing, I was put in the queue. I was able to buy my Dream Key Pass, and all is right in the world. Oh, I did not yet make appointments. I was just really excited to get the pass, but I haven't yet started scheduling my appointments. Because to be honest with you, I'm really wanting to schedule most of my appointments later in the year in 2022. I just wanted that pass in case some of you come and they say, hey, I'm in the park, and I can try and see about getting an appointment. I also have a cast member. She's so sweet. And she's always saving one of her passes for me. Now she doesn't have to. She can let somebody else, she can bring somebody else who'd like to come in. Maybe they can't afford to get into the parks. She can bestow that upon them, and they can have it. So I can take that off her and also off you. If you want to connect with me and I can get out there, I'll get out there, and all I'll ask you is to buy me a coffee or lunch or something, a lot less expensive than buying me a Disney ticket. Yeah. So just wanted to tell you, it actually was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on the call because my friend Stephanie was also in the queue, and we were taking the ruler and measuring. Oh, I'm 2 inches in. Oh, I'm 3 inches in. Only 2 inches to go. Only 1 inch to go. And I told her, your blood starts to really pump and your heart starts to race as you notice that Disney. What happened was I got in right at 10 o'clock, but it put me in an area that didn't necessarily tell me not to go back. It just sat there. So I was a little confused, but then it kicked me into a queue and it said I'd be waiting here more than an hour. So I want you to understand that when Disney speaks, they say no earlier than 10 a.m. Pacific time will we sell the passes. And that was the case of last Wednesday, right? No earlier than, but it didn't necessarily say it was going to launch at 10 o'clock, did it? Very smart. It actually probably didn't open till 10:15 and 10:20. And that was fine because you just sat there. You had 1/4 of an inch of this little snake spinning. It wasn't really a snake. I call it a snake. It's a bar, basically, like when your life force is filling up, kind of thing. That Monsters Inc. full thing, but it's only sideways. It goes like this. But in any case, we were in the queue. I think I was in the queue about 10:15. And then it said more than an hour. So it didn't say 1 hour wait. It said more than an hour. So again, you can't really get angry at them. You can always opt out and, go later. In the evening, I had some friends who were getting their passes and it took about an hour on Wednesday evening. Luckily, there were still passes available. And that was my concern. I didn't know how many people were going to go crazy. And I didn't know how many limited, because Disney said limited amount of passes. What does that mean? 1 million? It's really hard. They didn't give a number. Again, smart thinking. So if you're ever going to do something, words like more than an hour or no earlier than and limited might be just the thing you need to check out. If I was more laissez-faire about, my glasses are really filthy. If I was more laissez-faire about my pass, I probably would have waited till the evening. But since I'm in my studio anyway and I'm sculpting, why not? Just give me a minute while I don't mean to clean my glasses on there for you to see, but I can't see you. There is a mess there. You ever notice how artists, if you're an artist, there are things that just don't matter until, you've got a wall of goop and you can't see it. And you go, I ought to clean my glasses. Anyway, I digress. So that's the pass news. You probably can still get one today. Post in the comments if you can. And maybe it's just like you go in, you get your pass, and you're out. As soon as you get it, you can start creating appointments. And I don't know how far out in the calendar it goes, but I will be looking and checking to see when that is. I got my new live calendar. This isn't it, but I got my new live calendar, so I can start to put that stuff in there. See my new one? Isn't it pretty? This little pink thing. And inside I can write in all my dates and stuff. It's nice and fresh. Isn't it nice to get it fresh? I have to have it on paper. I have to be able to open it up and have it on paper. It's probably because I'm 64. I'm just going to say that being a paper person from birth, paper works. And you can see I want to look at it at a glance because I'm a total slacker. This is what my calendar for August looks like. Everyone looks like that. They're just full, chock full of notes, stuff for me that I have to do. So I can look at it at a glance and go, oh, I've got stuff I've got to do. I used to do colors, make it really pretty, but I'm too busy for that. So, so there you have it. Also, I didn't post it on the thumbnail. You can ask me more about the annual passes if you like, and things like that. I'm very excited to have gotten it. Yeah, I'm just stoked. Yeah, very, very, very happy that I've gotten it. Also, I want to make sure you are aware of the fact, if you were planning on going to Marceline for ToonFest, it has been postponed till 2022. Most likely September of 2022. Please let it happen. And I just heard while on my Patreon page with the tribe today that the Disneyana Fan Club, which was going to happen September 11th and 12th, has also postponed to the 14th and 15th of May of 2022. May 14th and 15th of May of 2022. So if you're like me and you booked a room or you got yourself all set for that, please be aware that it is no longer in September of this year. They have postponed it to 2022. I actually think this is a very wise thing to do, because even if they could make it super safe. Now, both of these events are indoors. Okay. ToonFest was mostly indoors, as is Disneyana. So they both felt it would be very, 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 very pertinent to postpone it till 2022, just for your safety and our safety and everybody's safety. Also, here in California, people aren't necessarily showing up at certain events. Even things like Dodger game, and you've heard that one Dodger game went like forever, was not packed. And that is because people are concerned about what is really going on with this virus. And because we're getting so many conflicting messages, many just choose not to take chances. They are very, very careful about where they're going to go and what they're going to do. I'm going to go here. How am I going to go here? I was willing to do Disneyana for the following reasons. I could drive my own car. I didn't have to fly. And then I could go directly to my location early in the morning, set up at my table, mask up, of course, be masked, and make sure I was a good distance away from the people when I spoke with them. So I felt safe in the Disneyana Fan Club environment because I could control a lot of the variables. But I'm grateful that they decided to change it. And those of you who ordered my pumpkin book and wanted to pick it up at the Disneyana Fan Club, please message me and we'll work out a way that you can get that book if they're not here yet. And those of you who want to buy the book, please go to, I was going to hook up my computer to show you. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. If you'll give me 2 seconds, then I can use some visual aids, which I know you all love visual aids. So let me. I'm just going to take the moment and reconnect I have to reconnect something at the back on my system. So while I do that, so you can have visual aids, because I know how much you like to see the photos and the pictures. So let me get that going. But to entertain you, you can take a look at him. This is my robot Mickey that I was putting together for the Disneyana event. So I'm I'm going to light him up. Well, not light him up, but light him so you can see him better, okay? And I'm making Cyborg Mickey, and he will be at the Disneyana show and sale event. Now in 2022, he's probably going to be there. And what I've done is I've painted him. He came to me in primer black, and I've painted him to look like a cyborg. And he was very, very shiny originally. And I took some black and I buffed him so that he looks a little battle worn. Okay. So he has more like he was in space. He looks like real metal now. Can you see that? Can you feel the metal? Anyway, let me hook up this other deal. And while I'm doing that, it'll only take me a couple seconds, but I have to do a little bit of a switcheroo here. So let me do that. And that way you guys can get what you are needing happening. There we go. Basically, I was meaning to do this originally during my Patreon. You guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek into me not frantically, but changing this around so that we can see. I'm just making sure it's working. There it is. Okay, yippee-ki-yay. Says Terry. Yippee-ki-yay, says Terry. There we go. So, all right, we are all set. Do you like little Mickey here? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about him too. Yeah, he's coming along. I'm gonna put this light on so you can see him here too. You see, isn't he cute? So he has this nice bronze look about him, and he will be auctioned off at the Disneyana fan club event in May. And the nice thing about it is I might even actually get to attend during the auction. But I have a dear friend who loves Mickey, and he's already gunning for it. So he's going to be really happy because on Saturday, the September 11th, he had another event to go to, and now he can possibly get it. But you can see that he looks like he's really metal. And on my Patreon page, before the end of the year, I have a level where you can join for $25 a month and learn how to do stuff like this. But don't sign up at that level now. Just pop in at your $5 level, $60 a year, $60 a year, $5 a month for Patreon if you want to be a part of it now. And I'll alert you on Patreon when you can join, and I have content on there for you to learn stuff. Okay. So there he is. His head turns and his little arms work. You understand these Vinylmations. The little Vinylmations don't do that, but the big one. And I'm not a Vinylmation fan, but I really got this idea. And the patron, my tribe said, woohoo, go for it. And I did. And I'm really glad I did. He's really cute. I got to make sure I take some pictures of him. I didn't take a photo of him when he was super shiny. But I should have, but he really looks cute like this. This is a great way to do it. He's also now going to get eyes. I'm going to now robo him out. Okay. This is his base. And now I'm going to robo him out. And, then he'll be yours. He'll be yours. It'll be yours for the taking. Waha! Providing that you get him in the auction. And while I am talking about that, I do a lot of stuff for charity events. So the Disneyana fan club brought me that cute little Mickey and said, Terry, would you as an artist paint him? And I said, of course I will. And that's what I did. And he's not done yet, but he will be. And now you got to wait till May to get him. But that also allows me to take a minute and not necessarily finish him right away because I was busting a hump. It takes a long time to do that buff painting thing. It takes longer than I expected. And so to paint him, it can be a little challenging. And now I can get back to focusing on the Roly Crump chess set, which I have been talking to you guys about. And I will start to, I'll preview a couple of pieces for you. I'll do a real quick little preview of one of the pieces. You can see them more extensively on in the tribe on Patreon. And again, if you want to go there and be a part of Terry's tribe, you go to this right here, patreon.com/Terri Hardin. There we talk about the conversations I have with Rolly. Rolly and I are actually talking with each other as this chess set is created. And this is the pawn. I'll just give you a sneak peek of the pawn. So here's the pawn. And you can see this is Rolly's drawing right here. And you can see how fragile it is. Fragile, fragile, way fragile. Whoop, whoop. And also fragile. So for a chess piece, this could break. So we don't want that to happen. So here is my version of the chess piece. And what you're first going to notice is with 2 dimensions, this would be flat, but I have made it more dynamic. This is the front of him. And so he looks a lot more, he looks like a pawn. He's more of an aggressive pawn. And so you get to see the loopy tail and his little paws here. This is a ruff, so these paws will be better. The bell's up here. And if I turn him sideways, I have this coming up to support him. I must have a 3-point spot so that when you guys grab it and move it, beep, 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 it doesn't break, you know? Beep, 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 when you move it. Most people with a chess thing, that I'm told, move it from the top. They grab it from the top and they move it like this. Well, if you're going to do that, he's got to be sturdy and strong, doesn't he? And I've noticed that if you're right-handed, you can actually rest your thumb on the loop, which is an extra bonus when you're doing this. But this is the ruff that I showed Rolly yesterday when we had a conversation. This is the front of him. So as you are across the board looking at these pieces, you will see 6 of these guys guarding the queen and the king. And so Rolly and I have been in discussion with them about them and everything. And now I'm working on the queen, and no, you can't see it yet. Go to Patreon if you want to see everything. I'm not twisting your arm. I'm just, that's where we discuss the deep, deep stuff. And for $5 a month, it's a pretty good deal. Skip a Starbucks and you got it, right? Absolutely. So anyway, so there's that. And what I'm saying is Mickey can wait a little bit so I can really focus on the Rolly Crumb chess set. Why do I want to do that? Because I'd like to get it done this year and ready for you guys to think about. And I still want to get the Cheshire Cat out as a new impressions. You guys have been really supportive and wonderful about my art. And we'll hide this patron thing now. And we will talk about, you guys have been very, very supportive of my art, but I want to have a few price points. The Hitchhiking Ghosts are for sale, but they are let me say that again. The Hitchhiking Ghost illuminated version are for sale, and they are an investment, but they are real, actual art. If you want to see them, post in the comments that you haven't seen them, and I will show them to you here. But what I was really going to talk about was the book. The book is still in pre-sale. This is Giggling Pumpkins, written by my best friend, Lynette Eklund, but I did the illustrations. She did the coloring of it. So it's a lovely children's book made in the USA. It is gorgeous. It is fabulous. And all you have to do is go to my website, TerriHarden.com, and above it says new book. Click on new book, and you can buy it for only $18 pre-sale price. Okay. You can also arrange to pick it up. If you want to possibly pick it up and you're in Southern California, we can work that out too. If you don't want to, I can ship it to you, and shipping is there. So you decide. You go to TerriHarden.com, click on new book and get it. Now, if you buy 10 or more, or you want to buy 10 or more, you need to email me or message me. You can email me here, or you can message me through private messenger, or you can post in the comments that you're interested in 10, or you can email me, and I will send you an invoice and give you a slightly better price. Can't do a big one because it's already regularly $22.95, $18 in pre-sale, but I will cut you a small break. So if you decide you want them as Halloween gifts, great Halloween gift, autographed and signed at least by me. My dear friend lives in Indiana, and we are going to be signing as many as we can together while I am in Indiana. And you're saying to yourself, excuse me, what? You're going to be in Indiana? What? Yes, I'm going to be in Indiana and most likely Ohio, that neck of the woods. And I'm going to be there on and I will get that in my website. Now that it is official, I will get it on my website. In fact, I better write that down because I've been meaning to let my web designer know that we need to post that up in my event schedule. So post book tour. It's a book tour. And both of us are together. The author, Lynette, and I will be together for those 2 weeks. So you would have the opportunity to get your book signed by the both of us. But like I said, now that I no longer need books to arrive for me in September, what I'm probably going to do is ask you guys to wait until October, the beginning of October, so that you'll have them by Halloween. But the beginning of October, so we can both sign them if you want. And then I come back on the 6th of October, and then you guys can meet me at my pumpkin class maybe, or you can meet me earlier and you can get it, but you get both of us signing it. So think about that and post in here if you have any comments or questions about it. But I'm just going to write me a little note here so that I don't forget. So much to tell you. So again, the book tour, let me just pop it up here. That's the book Giggling Pumpkins. It's a children's book. It's hardbound. It's made in the USA. It's darling. Here are a few of the illustrations. So it was hand painted by the author, and I did the sketches. So it's the first time that both of us have done a book. I've done a Disney book or 2 or 5, but I've not done one that's non-Disney in quite some time. And so this is your opportunity to grab it. If you want, go to my website, terrihardin.com, and look at new book at the bar above my head, and you can click on it and learn more. That also being said, the pumpkin class is filling up. I'm teaching a pumpkin sculpting class October 30th, the day before Halloween, in Anaheim, California. If you're a pass holder now, you could make Friday your Disney day, or later in the day on the 30th if you want. If you're looking at the Halloween decorations or whatever, you can join us in Anaheim and sculpt a pumpkin. So that too is on the website under my event schedule. So all you need to do is go to my website and let me just find it. There it is. I don't know why it was so hard for me to find that, but I will type it in. There it is. There we are. Okay, so all you do is go to the website. Here it is. It's a work in progress. Don't judge. And at the top, you can see the words new book. And also, if you slide over, event calendar, you tap the event calendar, pumpkin sculpting classes, and it's going to take you to that page and tell you all about those classes. I have both. There you are. There's the pumpkins. You can learn how to sculpt. Whoop, whoop. And we have on October 23rd, a virtual class for those of you who are not in Southern California. It's only $40. And then the October 31 is $75. The difference between the two, well, one is virtual, of course, but this one has pumpkins I will supply to you. And then you get to pick them. And we'll meet at 9 o'clock and have a meet and greet, and you can choose your pumpkin, and we're going to have food, and it's going to be a party, and I'm there until God turns the lights out. What does that mean? I'm there the whole day until you are ready to leave. It takes about 3 hours usually, but I have a lot of sculptors, new and alumni, who just like to hang out, visit, and do that. There's a lot of space for social distancing. That's why we're only inviting 30 people to be in the class. I already have about 10 people. And it's only, look at the date, guys. It's August. Yeah. So I am promoting, I am starting to do podcast appearances. I am looking to do more appearances because I am wanting as many people as possible to be able to buy this book if they want this book at the $18 pre-sale price. September 10th, it will bounce up, and I will talk to the author. She may agree to make it go a little bit longer. But September 10th, it will bounce up to the $22.95. Now that the appearances I had scheduled are no longer there, we might work something out. But just put September 10th at midnight is so far when you can no longer get it for the $18. So if you want it and you want it autographed by both of us, please consider going and getting it in pre-sale. And if you decide you want more than 10, you can then write to me and I'll invoice you and I'll give you like $1 off each of them or something, even more. Okay. But the point is, this is a great little book. It's going to be signed by 2 people. One of them, Outrageous Pumpkins judge and Disney Imagineer, TERRI HARDIN. Who's that? Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's I want to make sure, I just want to make sure I've told you the important stuff, because this stuff is happening so fast, because of this pandemic. People are, really thinking about what they're going to go forward with. And flying, for example, can be a challenge. However, I'm taking precautions in that area when I fly to Indiana as well. One of the things you probably won't want to do is change planes. And I have to change planes on the way out. So I'm going to be very careful about that. But usually I won't change planes. I want a direct flight to and from. I was able to get a direct flight home, but I cannot seem to get a direct flight to Indiana. So I'm going to have a changeover. But you can bet I will be social distancing from everyone and wearing a mask. Also, I'm hoping in October that this will have settled. Great things have happened with the pandemic, and that is that one of the vaccines has now been completely endorsed by the Food and Drug Administration, and that is the Pfizer, right? That's right, the Pfizer, I think it's a Pfizer. Yeah, Pfizer's got full endorsement. So those of you who wanted to wait for the FDA's full and complete approval, now is the time to get vaccinated with the Pfizer, and you can choose. So go get them, Tigers, and get yourself safe. I had 2 people, there was a guy who was coming to talk to me about some work on my home. He was going to meet me on Wednesday, not this last Wednesday, but the Wednesday prior, and he mixed up our appointments, and I wasn't happy when he didn't show. But by the weekend, he was full on COVID. So he could have infected me. So see, God watches over you. Yeah. And he did not get vaccinated, and he's very sick. So every day I check in on him. I write to him, and he's a fellow. I don't want to say but he's a fellow. I don't know him, but he's doing some work on my house, or he's opting. He's vying for the opportunity. But he was a really sweet fella, and he's got COVID. And they told me he was supposed to meet me last Wednesday. He couldn't because he's got COVID. And so I check in every so often and say, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? He's holding steady, but he says, it's awful. We know it's awful. It's awful. It's awful. And I have another dear, I watched a radio station where they had the guy come on, one of their producers that produces the radio show, come on. He has COVID, and he was broadcasting from his home, and he was vaccinated, and he says it's hell. He said, if this is Diet Coke, he doesn't want to know what Coke is. So if you have been waiting for endorsement from the Food and Drug Administration, go, guys. Do not hesitate. Okay? Because this is not cool. And this is why many events are thinking about, do we postpone or not? Or do we push them back in some way or not? So we can still save what we've got going. Right? Yeah, one of the things in September that has not yet been postponed is the gala for the Red Dot Society, for the Chuck Jones Society. They have the Red Dot Gala happening on September 11th, and I am going to go. Why am I going? Because I can drive there and I can drive back and I can isolate. I can keep myself and masked and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be going, but I don't know if they're going to have it. The first thing I'm going to do is to find out from Red Dot if they're still going to have the gala live. It may go to online, which saddens me because I did this painting and it doesn't look as cute on video, in a photograph as it does in real life. So I'm hoping the gala will do it because I'm hoping to get a red dot. If you get a red dot on your painting, in my case, that's $750 going to the Red Dot Society to support all of the beauty and wonderful things they do for you. They teach you animation. It's mostly children, but you can pop in. They don't say only under 12 apply, like a height chart at Disneyland. They invite you to do the animation with them. Chuck Jones, Center for Creativity, and that is, your Bugs Bunny, your Pepe Le Pew, all of those characters that you love from the, Roadrunner and all of that. And what they do is they invite artists to do paintings, and then people bid on them, and they put a red dot and sell them. You can go to Red Dot Auction, Google Red Dot Auction, and you can see the paintings. I will give you a little hint. Mine involves Bugs Bunny. It's called What's Up, Doc, and has trees. So that's all I'm going to say. Just in case it goes all virtual and you just can't live without it, maybe they can have a red dot. None of the money comes to me. It's all donated. But I do this for charities all the time. You saw Mickey, and I did the painting. And I love to do stuff to help charities, and organizations do money. And the cool thing about the Marceline Toon Fest is that as soon as the dust clears for them, probably chat with them November-ish, because they are really working to have their gala in October. I will work to have some sort of art piece for them that you can purchase exclusively at Toon Fest. So this is the positive option. I was unable to do it this year because I was just really swamped and busy. But next year I can put it in my queue and get it, maybe do something fun. I'm going to talk with them and see what they want. But that's kind of what I do. So that's the thing that's kind of exciting about that. All right. I've wasted your time for 45 minutes. Let's now go over and hear what you all have to say. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Shelby. My week been, and I think you heard that, right, Shelby? My week is excellent. I'm excited about Halloween, and the Rolly Crump chess set is well underway. Rolly and I are working together on it. He loves the set, and it is moving forward. So those of you, save your pennies. Rolly and I have a lot of ideas on what we can do so that you can be a part of this exciting adventure and put it in your collection if you love his Museum of the Weird, his World of the Weird, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. His stuff is so marvelous and exciting. And I was looking for one of my papers here. And this is a note he gave me. So the Museum of the Weird, it's called the Museum of the Weird chess set. I said that right. And I think I've shown these to you before. These are the chess pieces that Rolly has. And you can see here, have some fun, Rolly. So he actually sent this to me and wrote these notes to me and, gave me permission here that they could change being sculpted to fit them the way, but he wanted me to know which ones he selected. And honestly, guys, no other sculptures exist for collectors to collect. I just want you to know that these are this is a huge honor for an artist such as myself. I am so excited that he chose me. I'm beyond words. And this is going to be the opportunity of a lifetime to get this set. Do I know how much it's going to cost? No, I don't. He's asked for the pieces to be larger, and you saw that pawn. That pawn is like 3.5 inches tall, and that's a normal chess size piece. We are doing a larger chess area. The squares are 2.5 by 2.5 or 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And then the pieces range between 3.5 inches, the pawn, to the queen and king, which are about 5 to 6 inches tall, somewhere in there. It kind of depends on me. Vertical is not so difficult as width because I have to keep them inside that 2.5, 2.5, or they start to bang into each other. So there's all kinds of challenges on my Patreon page. I talk specifically about them while showing you what I'm talking about. And you're welcome to go over there. And for $5 a month, $60 a year, skip that Starbucks just once and you've got it. Come and join me over there. I think you will really enjoy it. One more time. So thank you, Shelby, for asking that question. Hello, Jacob. Leo, good morning. Hello, Terry. Going to Disney World, leaving Sunday. Can't wait. So very excited, says Jacob Gardner. I'm excited for you too. Please be careful. Florida is a crazy place. And they have been having some challenges over there with the pandemic. Not necessarily Disney World, though. Okay, just watch your six, Jacob, and be safe and be careful, okay? We have determined several factors from the CDC. People with the vaccine can still get sick, and people with the vaccine are and can be, well, let me say that again, can be carriers. So be careful, okay? I love you, and I'm excited you get to go. But be careful. I don't want you coming back sick. Nate, you're with us. Hello. Nate is with the tribe and is really an amazing expert on all things collectible. Yeah, most things collectible. He might say I'm exaggerating if I say all things, but that's our dear friend Nate. Connie, fantastic Friday. Good morning. Hello, Connie, and great that you joined us today. Lots going on. And I did say that I did get my Dream Key Pass, and I'm very excited because now it's just a matter of doing appointments when you guys come into town that I can set up. In fact, Nate is coming in November, and I will probably reserve a day for us to get together and do that at Disneyland. I think he really wants to do that. But Nate has also commissioned me to do an art piece, and so we may not make a date at Disneyland. What we may do is make a date here in my studio so he can see his piece live and in person. And maybe we'll broadcast that for the tribe. So that's it. So Connie, super excited that I got the Dream Key Pass so that I can visit whenever I want. And super excited that the Rolly Crumb Chess Set is going. And sad that Disney and a fan club has decided to postpone, but grateful because now I can market my Robo Mickey even more, and it will help their charity event. And maybe I can do more for them now. I'm definitely going to offer it. You know, maybe they'll let me paint more than one Mickey, or maybe they'll let me do something else for auction. So it's kind of exciting. If you're going to 2022, that gives me some running room. However, I'm going to do the chess set. Then I'm going to continue to send you your hitchhiking ghosts. I am really working hard with the manufacturer to get them to you. They only come 5 a month, but we've had a real trip. We have not been able to deliver since last May because we aren't getting the supplies. But it looks like hopefully we're going to be back on track next month. I'm praying because I have 5 that need to get to me in September. And you know who you are. If you don't, you can reach out to me. But these were the 5 people that said they needed them by a particular deadline. And I'm working very, very hard to get them by that deadline. The rest of you were sweet enough to say you could get it whenever. And I love you for that. So if you want to see the ghosts, just post in the comments and I'll show you them. Also have blacklight ghosts. They're available too. They are not as big as an investment for the ghost, but they are very beautiful. So I was going to show them live and in person at my appearance at the Disney Fan Club, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So So as a result, I will do it at the next possible appearance that I get to do. But Connie, you made me think of all of that I needed to make sure everybody knew. Did I repeat myself? I apologize. Morning, Terry. Happy Friday. Hello, Cheryl. I'm happy to be getting my second dose tomorrow. Been waiting my second trimester and can't wait to get this done. I'm with you, Cheryl. I'm with you. And I think you are a very wise woman. And this is the perfect example of not judging someone for not getting it, but simply understanding that they need to know how you feel and why you'd like them to get it. And in some cases, there's medical issues, as Cheryl is talking about here. She wanted her baby to be so far along so she could get her second dose just to be safe, and that's fine, and now with the Food and Drug Administration endorsing the Pfizer, you can go get the Pfizer and feel more safe. Because I know a lot of people didn't like the emergency qualification. Many wanted an official endorsement. Now you have it. So run and get it, guys, because I love you. And this illness is nasty from the friends that I have been reaching out to me and have gotten it. It's just nasty. So I love you. I don't want you to have to do that. I looked up a video on YouTube of the dragon in Paris. Yes, thank you. That's what I love about today's technology. I didn't have to fly over to Paris to see it. Yes, lots of people have shot and video. Did I turn this off? Let me just turn this off. My camera is like griping at me. Now it's feeling better. Okay, good baby. All right. Yeah, that is a really good point, Jacob. And many people have done just that. They film it for others to see. I will say, Jacob, this doesn't replace your opportunity to go to Paris. It just kind of fuels the fire, doesn't it? Because now you really want to experience it. As you might want to experience Big Thunder, because Big Thunder goes underneath the water and comes up on an island. And I will tell you, not necessarily because I was one of the people who built it. There were two of us who actually built it, built the model. And then it was built by hundreds of thousands of people in Paris. We weren't there. So let me clarify, because, I built it doesn't mean that I was in Paris building it. No. They wouldn't let me do that. But what I did do along with my partner at Imagineering was I built it with him. So here we are, me and Vasily building it. Look at that hair, would you? There we are building the Big Thunder Mountain model for Paris. And then right next to it is the Dragon's Lair you are so affectionately speaking about. This was a project that I was so excited to be a part of and so excited to have in my repertoire. Right alongside thing. I mean, I've had some great opportunities, and that's why I'm here wanting to share them with you, because I don't want you to think you can't do it. This is a little kid who was bullied about her hair because she was a mixed kid. She was half black, half white, and both camps were kind of, I ran into bullies on either side. So I didn't give up. I just want you to know, you don't have to. Be you. You're special. Hello, Dave from Holland. How sweet of you to join us. A new person. Well, new to me. Well, Dave, thank you for coming. I'm so excited. How nice of you to pop in and say hello. That is really, really kind of you, and I want to thank you for that. You've made my day. Holland. I like Holland. Oh, wow. That's lots of times. Definitely a great deal. Yeah. Yes. The thing is, Bonnie, that the pumpkin class is going to be really cool because I'm there all day. So if you can't make it at 9 o'clock for the mixer, one of the downsides of that is you may have to take whatever pumpkin is left over. But if you're coming late, we'll make sure you get a pumpkin. The fact that I'm there all day means that if you can't make it at 10 o'clock with everybody else, you can reach out to me and say, I'm coming later. I've already had a woman reach out to me who wants to, she had some special circumstances and she wanted to ask me if it was okay. So that's why I gave you the email, or you can message me on Facebook Messenger, or you can hit me up on Instagram. You can talk to me and let me know. I'd love to take the class, but here's my situation, okay? So this is what I started to tell you about bullying. Don't let people dictate your life. Don't let me, the only thing I'm going to dictate to you is I'm teaching it live on that Saturday. So you got to come on Saturday. But, if I'm going to stay there all day and it takes about 2 or 3 hours, come. Yeah, well, let me know and come, or sign up and let me know your circumstances. We'll work it out. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be safe. It's going to be fun. And it's 5 miles away from Disneyland in case you need to get that Disney fixation on you. You have the pass now. You can lay out your plans, right? Set that table for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, Bonnie. I hope you'll join us. I heard you tell the story about auditioning for Jim Henson for the very first time. Can you please tell us the full story today? Yes, I can. So I've been a puppeteer since I was 6 years old. I didn't realize I was a puppeteer since I was 6 years old, but I was. I built all kinds of puppets throughout my life as a young person and found that puppets were a great way to deal with bullies. And you might be saying, what? I have a program called Build a Buddy, and that helps young people build a buddy, and the buddy is a puppet. Okay. And the idea is to get it in schools. I'd love to get it in schools. I'm working on that. But that's kind of my idea. That's about as far as I'm going to say about that. But what I really want to tell you is that I did marionettes. I did a Genieland show when I was 16. Genie of Genieland had a place in Southern California that created a marionette show for children's birthday parties, and it was really high end, and celebrities from all over came to take their grandkids or their kids there. I played White Duck, Yellow Duck with Mel Brooks. Yeah. So just to tell you, that's where I cut my teeth. So I've been a puppeteer for a long time, but like many of you, I had always dreamed of being in the presence and working with the amazing Jim Henson. So as I started to grow, I'm an obsessive creative, which means, I just build. If I like it, I jump and do it. So what I did was, forgive me, I'm having my breakfast. What I did was I just, West Coast. Okay. So Jim Henson's East Coast. I was West Coast. And I began to meet other puppeteers who were West Coast. At one point in my career, when I was very young, I was invited by Sid and Marty Croft. You know who they are? Sid and Marty Croft invited me to audition to be in a puppet course. And I auditioned and made it. I think the thing that did it for me was the fact that I could work marionettes or the string puppets. And they were surprised that I had this ability. But at 16, 17 years old, I was at Genieland, and those are the puppets we worked. I even designed a show. So they were a little bit surprised. Also, I was a woman. When I finally went to the class, there were only 3 women to 30 participants in this class. I was taught voices by June Foray. True story. Comedy by Harvey Limbeck. Yes. And Tony Urbano, the world-renowned marionette performer, cruise ships, everything, did the Snuggles Bear, et cetera, was our chief instructor. From there, Tony saw I had a building ability and hired me in his studio to build what you may remember if you're older, the Chicken McNuggets for McDonald's. Originally, the Chicken McNuggets were puppets. And yes, Jacob, I'm getting to the story, so don't panic. The Chicken McNuggets were these little puppets that would squish and dance for McDonald's. And we did lots of commercials with them. And I sculpted them along with a team of sculptors. Later, they were CG. And then later they disappeared. So McDonald's doesn't really stay with much when they're doing their commercials other than Ronald McDonald. And if you've seen McDonald's commercials lately, even Ronald is hit and miss, isn't he? So they tend to change stuff up a lot at McDonald's. They don't stay around for long, but the Chicken McNugget stayed around for a while. So I was asked by Tony Urbano to fly to New York to do a Chicken McNugget commercial in New York. While I was there with the mini puppeteers, one evening, Tony invited everyone to go to the opera. And you know how there's a line of people and they ask for a volunteer and everyone steps back except for one person? I was that one person. I looked around and none of my fellow puppeteers were around. There I was, young girl in my 20s, not even understanding truly what opera was, let alone wanting to go. But Tony begged me to go. The ticket cost me $80. Back then it might as well been $8,000 because it was a box seat. The opera was La Traviata, and I said, if I'm going to do this, you've got to take me to meet Jim Henson, whose studio, was in New York, Manhattan, where we were. Tony agreed, and the next day we went to Yeah, see, I told you, Jacob, I was coming to it. We weren't supposed to meet Jim. We were going to meet Jane, and my main goal of going there was to find out how they made characters like Bunsen Honeydew and Miss Piggy. I was a puppet builder at this time, full force, and could not figure out how Bunsen Honeydew was done. I could not figure out how Piggy was done, mainly the fleshy part. So I mainly wanted to meet Jim and say hi, actually Frank Oz. And then I really wanted to meet Frank Oz, truth be told, and also meet the people who were the builders of the puppets and get some tips on how I could better build my puppets. When I got there, to our surprise, Tony and mine, Jim was there. Jim took one look at me and went like this. Not because I was overly beautiful, not because I was overly talented. How can you tell by looking at me? But because I was a woman. Remember, I told you 3 women to 30 people in the class. He automatically raced over, took my hand and said, "You are. Who are you?" He ignored everybody else. The bubble was on me. And who are you? Now, why did he do this? Because there weren't a lot of women puppeteers that did the level of puppetry that I had done. I had done Ghostbusters, which means I was in a full-on suit, 40 feet up in the air, operating a giant monster dog that Sigourney Weaver turns into. I was a physical, well-rounded puppeteer, and Jim knew that if I was with the amazing Tony Urbano, I had to be good at my craft, which was absolutely true. He wanted to know everything about me. Tony stood between us and said, "She's mine." And I pushed him aside and said, "No, I'm not. I'm not under any kind of retainer. A puppeteer is just like many people who work in the effects industry. Once the job is done, you're like a nomadic group that goes to the next job. Okay, so I built the still suits for Dune and performed stunt doubles for Sean Young. But once that was over, I went with the nomadic group over to Ghostbusters. Yay, yay, yay! And got a job on Ghostbusters. Once that was done, the nomadic group went over and looked for another movie, and so on and so forth. We were cut loose. We move on to the next job. That's the way the industry works. So I said to Tony, "No, I'm free. If Jim wants to talk to me about a job, I'm available. Why? You have not retained me." So he stepped back. Jim walked me through, taught me how to told me about Miss Piggy, which is a form of using electromagnetic current and making the hair stand on her face as it's done. I won't get into that now, but he called me when I got back onto the West Coast and asked me if I'd come and do Sesame Street. Wait for it, Jacob. I said no. I'm going to let that sit with you for a minute. Yes, you heard it here. I said no to Jim Henson. No, thank you. I love you, man. I love you. Nothing more that I want to do than work with you, but not in New York. I'd found that Manhattan was just not a good fit for the delicate TERRI HARDIN. She just Wasn't loving New York. No offense to you New Yorkers, you guys. This is it's gritty and it's got it, now that I look at it, it's got a lot of it has a, but as a young person, it was too much. It was too much sensory overload. There was steam coming up. I was told it was methane from the garbage that was shrinking underneath. It just, no. Never quiet. Never, ever quiet. Noisy, 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 noisy. 24-hour town. Just not Terry's cup of tea. So I said to Jim Henson, thank you. I really would love to be a part of your world, but I can't in Manhattan. And he said, what makes you think you can work for me if you don't come to New York? And I said, Steve Whitmire, Kevin Clash, Dave Goals. Steve Whitmire was in Atlantic City, Kevin Baltimore, and Dave Goals, Northern California. So I knew I could be somewhere else and come together to work with him at some point. He said, and hung up. In 1989, he called me again. Terry, this is Jim Henson. Not really. Yes, really. No, come on. Yes, don't insult me again. And he said, I'm coming to California. I'm going to be auditioning for a new show I'm doing with Disney. And you're coming and auditioning. Why? Number one, because I want to see if you are as good as you think you are, sister. Jim Henson said this. And then Jim Henson said, if you're not, I'm going to really make you embarrassed. So be ready. Now, this might scare a lot of you to have Jim Henson over the phone say, do or die, sister, do or die. But remember, I've been one of the top puppeteers at this time in California. Maybe not in New York, but in California. And there were 14 of us that were really, really good at what we did. And anytime there was a commercial or film to be done, we were called. They didn't just call us up. That would be too easy. We always had to audition, and it always came down to those same 14 people, myself included, I'm happy to say. So when Jim said that, I said, it's a deal. Bring it on. And that's the kind of attitude I want you, not cocky, but confident. If you know you're good at what you do, just know that somebody might challenge you and say, prove it, baby. And you just do. Kick back and prove it. You know that Dragon's Lair was mentioned before. Did I ever design an attraction for Imagineering ever before? No. But I wasn't going to let that voice keep me from doing it. And it was one of the best jobs I ever had. I just said, shut up, voice, I got this. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just jumped. I just want you to have the confidence in who you are and what you do. Don't let people make you feel like you can't do what you can do if you could really do it. Yeah. So Jim also said, bring your portfolio, because if you're a puppet builder, I want to see what you got there too. So the day finally came when I had to audition for the Henson people and a show called, you may have heard of it, Muppet 3D Theater. And it's still at Walt Disney World. So if you're jumping over to Walt Disney World, Jacob, be sure you catch Muppet 3D and look for characters like the Small World characters, the one that doesn't look hideous. And I did, I did so many different characters for that. We did the ensemble. We did the final sequences in the ensemble of that. So I've done a lot of work. And that's when I got to work side by side with Jim. It was really a dream come true. But I'm ahead of myself. So the audition came, and the Henson people bring you into this big room. And in the big room, they had cameras set up, much like you see here. Hello. They had a mirror, and they had puppets. You were met by a young lady at the door, and she said, hello, may I have your name? Ah, yes, Terry. Now, pick a puppet that suits you, and then you have plenty of time to practice in front of the mirror or in front of the camera, and we will call you in groups of 7 to audition for Jim Henson. Okay, several things are a little bit amiss here. In California, we never audition together. We may now. I'm talking about in my day, so go back. When the years had 19s in front instead of 20s. Are you there? Okay, keep that in your head. We were always auditioning by ourselves originally. Why? Because we had our own voices and we had our own characterizations, and we didn't want people to take those from us, much like voiceover artists do today, where they audition one-on-one because of the same situation. When you are molding your voice to do various things and you don't want anyone to try and duplicate them, you want to be by yourself when you're auditioning in front of the production. So the first thing that happened was many of my people, especially the Fab 14 I spoke about, were very offended that they were going to have to audition with 6 other people. Let me give you a little tip. If this ever happens to you, you're used to auditioning alone, and all of a sudden you see that you're group auditioning, you need to ask yourself a question. Okay, are you ready? The question is, will you be intimidated or will you intimidate? Which one do you think I chose? I chose to intimidate. You are right. Bing, 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 bing. I figured if there were going to be 6 people in there and I was number 7, I was just going to have to blow their hair off. All 6 people. Now, you may also think that I stood in front of a camera or I stood in front of a mirror and I practiced, but I did not. One of the things Tony Urbano taught me years ago while working with him, he is one of the best volunteers in the world. He told me that the people auditioning in front of the cameras and the people practicing in front of the mirrors were not the people you had to worry about. The people you had to worry about were the people who were sitting and reading the paper. Those were the people you had to worry about. So I scanned the room and I realized just who was, many were in front of the camera. I made sure the puppet fit. This is very important, that I could operate it without it sliding off, because puppets that are made for everybody can be very loose. If the puppet was too loose, I had things in my bag that I could stuff inside to make the hand tighter so the puppet could operate the way I wanted it to. This is what I learned in auditioning, because someone's going to provide you a puppet, but they don't have your hand in it. And if you have a small hand, big hand, you can squish it in. Small hand, it's going to be a challenge. So make sure you take some fiber fill, you know what that is, cotton or whatever, like that cottony stuff that you put in quilts. And make sure you stuff it around so that you have a nice firm fit, because they're not going to look at you and say, "Oh, we'll give you some points for loose puppet." They're going to expect you as a professional to make it work, right? So that's what I did. So I first noticed right away that my adversary was in the room. We all have one. A person who just hates you because you're you. Can we fix that? No. They just have looked at you and decided, I hate her. And she had followed me throughout my life, hating me. Now, I could spend my life being intimidated by the fact that now I've got the hater in the room, or I can say, there's my target, the one I must get, the one I must intimidate, the hater. Anyway, lucky me, 7 people are drawn, and you guessed it, the hater was in the room. Brian Henson introduced himself, and we stood before him in a row of 7 performing puppeteers. Brian informs us that we're going to count from 1, 2, till he makes us stop. Now, those of you who don't know about puppetry, why would you count? Why is counting important? Here's why. Lucky number 7. Let me demonstrate. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and down the garbage chute you go, you're done. You're finished. No more will you move forward. Okay? You have to be able to say 7. 7. 7. Okay? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You get it. You get it? You get it. So Brian didn't say that. He just had us raise our puppets in the air and do our counting. All right? Tony Urbano taught me another And his ears must be burning today. Tony's ears must be burning. But Tony taught me another wonderful little trick. He said, if you really want to make a splash in an audition as a puppeteer, figure some way to get the spotlight to be off your colleagues, numbers 2 through 7, and get it on you, number 1. Okay? And a caution here. If you do this, you better know what you're doing, because if you screw up, you're out. Okay? Are your bodies starting to shake a little bit out there? Yeah, it's a scary thing to do, is to make all the guns point to you, right? To have Brian Henson's eyes go, you know. He says, then you'll have 30 seconds of time, and then you can really kick it into gear. I remembered this from Tony Urbano and decided to do just that. So as we rose our puppets in the air, Brian said, count with me. 1, 2, 3. However, I was a little bit off. So Brian said 1, and I said 1. Everybody said 2, and I said 2. Everybody said 3, and I said 3. 4. And Brian said, stop! And he walked over, and he looked at everyone, and then he looked at me, and he said, let's all count together, shall we? And I just did my Stan Laurel. Okay. So we did it again all together. 1, 2, 3, 4 with everybody else. But on 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I winked at Brian. Was his reaction, what the heck? Who is this nut? But he couldn't take his eyes off me. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. I had grabbed him into my web, and he had to sit down. He told us that we had to come up with 60 seconds of ad-lib or riff or monologue, or we call this improvisation. And he pointed to, guess who? Me first. Terry, get up. I stood up, and he said, okay, you're going to go for 60 seconds and you're going to tell me a story, and go. Well, I chose my favorite, which is to riff about Star Wars and why I like Star Wars. So I went on, and I talked about how I love Star Wars. And by the way, if you don't know, I stood in line for 3 full days to see Empire Strikes Back, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I was in line, and I almost got arrested. Did I mention that I almost got arrested? And so y'all know I can talk. I mean, you're sitting here for close to 2 hours, so you know that I can talk. So this was no problem. He said, thank you. I sat down. Guess what happened next? Jim Henson walked through the door. Jim Henson had not seen me do this audition. And he sat next to Brian, and my heart kind of sank a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but you never let people see you sweat. My hater leaned forward from the group, caught my eye, and went, don't you just love haters? They're so special. I couldn't do anything. I just leaned back and said, I am pretty sad. All the other puppeteers did their performance in front of Jim, including my hater. And then Brian said, thank you very much. We'll be in touch. If we want to use you for the Muppet 3D show, we will call you. The usual, yes? And as we got up to go, Jim Henson stood up. Terry, where do you think you're going? Now the hater went like this. And I did too. Out? He said, oh, no, you're not. You're not getting off that easy. Front and center. Well, all the puppeteers stopped, the other 6. They wanted to see why Jim was so mad at me, so upset with me. Front and center. Put that puppet up. Give me 60 seconds of improv. And it better not be as the same as the one you did for Brian. No problem.
Once upon a time when I was a little girl, I was bullied. And though everyone gets bullied, I want to tell you how I fought the bullies. I fought the bullies by being wonderful, sweet, and clever. Clever. This is what I did. I became an amazing artist and I started to illustrate their pictures. And when I did, they were so surprised at how much they looked like them.
Again, 60 seconds, no problem. Jim smiled, said thank you for doing that. Everyone else was, she got to go twice. And me, I got to go twice. Then Jim asked to see my portfolio, and we spent another 10 minutes looking through my work. I was designing a show with him when he passed away, and I'm thinking of revising that show because we never signed off, so it's still my show. More on that later. But there is the audition. What do you take away from this? Okay, some suggestions. Know that if you're good at what you do, own it. Okay, if you knew you're destined to do something, own it. Do it. And now, guys, you have social media. You can do it on social media and people see you. You can tell me countless people who have done a TikTok or they've done an Instagram or they've done a Facebook or a YouTube where they were discovered. And this is because they just put it out there. And please don't let the haters be the thing that you rest on. Forget the haters. Don't listen to the haters. Every good thing has haters. Ted Lasso is one of my favorite shows. Let me say that again, is my favorite show. And Sudeikis has haters. He actually talked to the haters, and I wouldn't have talked to the haters, okay? I would have let my friends and fans talk to the haters, and I spoke to one of the haters and said, back off. If you don't like Ted Lasso, don't watch it. Because you're not going to diss a show that is magical, wonderful, inspirational, and fabulous during a time when we really need it. So if you don't like it, don't subscribe to Apple TV and don't watch it. But if you want something that's uplifting, inspiring, empowering, and makes you just feel good, watch Ted Lasso. It's worth it for $5 a month. And let me tell you something, Apple TV doesn't have a lot, except for Ted Lasso. But if Ted Lasso can get haters, so can all of us. And we can't let the haters stop us. You can't. Keep moving forward. Keep believing. You know the song, the Muppet song. Don't let people dictate your life. You're special. You're wonderful. You're a human being. God chose you to be you. It's not right that you don't be you. And if you have any challenges with this, you just let me know. I'll pump you up because I really do believe in you. I don't even maybe know you. You may not be posting in the comments. You might just be listening quietly. But I want you to hear this message. I'm in your corner. I believe in you, even if I don't know you. Why? Because God chose you to be a human being, not a goose. Okay? Not a cockroach, not a birdie, not a squirrely, none of the animals of the world that are programmed to do what they do, pretty much, okay? Build a nest, have kids, rinse and repeat, birdies, okay? You get to choose your course because God made you a human being, okay? And you're special and you deserve it. You deserve your best day. And if today isn't that best day, you have the power. You are the one that has the power that tomorrow can make it better just by deciding to make it better. What else can do that in the world? Okay. So this is why this story is so, thank you, Jacob, for asking me to tell it. This is why this is so important. This is why the story means something for you. Okay. And I understand some of your biggest icons need a pep talk. They need to know they're special too. Michael Jackson got a pep talk from me. He did. He did. I let him know he was super special. You know, because we tend to absorb the hate like a sponge. And when someone gives you a compliment, you go, oh no,
baby.
Why do we do that? Why do we become rubber and let compliments bounce off us when it should be the other way around? So when someone gives you a compliment, smile and say thank you. Don't do all of that no stuff. You know, absorb it. It's great when someone gives you a compliment. Take time to thank them properly when they do that. Okay? Thank them properly. Like Dave coming from Holland is, you looked interesting enough that I wanted to pop in. Did he pop in for 1 minute, 2 minutes? Did he still stay? Doesn't matter. He took the time to not only pop in and look at me on my channel, but to say something in the comments. And that is a great honor to me when you speak. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for posting in the comments, and thank you for joining me from Holland and all points all over. And I thank each and every one of you. Next door posting, coming here, all of you, I'm grateful that you're here, you know, because it's weird talking into nothing. And it's not, I'm not talking into nothing because I can see that you guys are talking to me. So please understand that everything I say is truthful and comes from the heart. And again, Jacob, thank you for asking me to tell that story. Hey, Deanna, thank you. Deanna just bought the book. Thank you, Deanna, and thank you for telling me. Deanna's with the tribe, so I'm very touched that she did that. That also makes me happy. Jacob says, do you use Wacom drawing tablet? And if so, do you recommend getting one? I'm thinking about getting one for Christmas this year. I did use a Wacom tablet. It's kind of challenging, Jacob, to try and figure out what kind of Wacom tablet. So for those of you who don't know what a Wacom tablet is, it can be several things. Jacob, are you getting the one where you draw directly on the screen, the Cintiq? Or are you looking to do one that's off to the side, you draw it and it shows up on the screen? Those are kind of the two versions. There's one called the Companion, I think, that is all in one. But you know what I did instead? I went ahead and I got a iPad Pro instead. My iPad Pro just seems to do more. It's more versatile than that Wacom pad. And I trusted them all. But I really, really liked the longevity of the iPad line. I had a Cintiq. I had an ancient Cintiq. I had a Stone Age Cintiq, and I love it because I have to draw on the screen. I can't draw, like there's the pad you can draw where it's down here, and then you look up here to see, and you draw down here. It goes up there. My brain can't do it. My brain just tilts. It doesn't. I have to be able to put pencil to screen. And now many computers, like the Surface from Windows, you can draw right on the screen as well. It'll twist back and do all kinds of cool stuff. But the Apple line is mine because they all are connected. They all speak to each other, and I don't get confused. I can do it anywhere. So I really like the versatility of the iPad line, so I've stopped using Wacom. If I was going to do Wacom, I'd do one of the ones that, like a Cintiq version that you can draw, and you know those can be very expensive. So I hope that helps. But let me know which one you want, and I will tell you. The Cintiq is the one that I love. They try to have some that are a little more reasonably priced, like in the $700-800 range, as opposed to the $2,000-3,000 range. But it's better to save and invest in one because you can use it forever, especially now that they have USB. Mine did not have USB connector. That's how old it was. It was flipping ancient, and I loved it. I loved it. Heavier. Took 2 people to lift the sucker. Now they're fairly light. They're much larger. So all I can say is I would get a Cintiq and I would invest in one of the higher models and draw right on the screen, or consider iPad Pro because I love it. I love it with the pencil. I just love it. All programs work on both, Wacom and this, and yeah, both are good. So don't jump in quickly. Really, it took me, you don't have to take as long as I did, but it took me about a year to make up my mind on which one I was going to get when I was going to upgrade, because I was doing more and more two-dimensional art, and I wanted to do a lot of digital. I can draw digitally. I can't sculpt digitally. The ZBrush and all of that, no. Can't do it. Can't do it. I don't like it. But that's because I'm 64 and it's too weird. I've got to feel the clay, smell the clay, push the clay with my fingers. It's just my thing. So if you're one of those people, but the drawing, since it's pretty similar, it's just on paper versus, and I still draw on paper a lot. But I also do digital too. I did some digital cachets for stamp collectors, and I liked it. So I hope that answers your question. Did you hear about this? ABBA's coming out with, yes. How many remember ABBA? You can dance. Oh my gosh. Wow. When I saw that on the news, Jacob, I was wondering if it was a revival. I was like, wow, they sound just like ABBA. And then I realized it was ABBA. I was like, wow. And what really touched my heart was how many people were as excited about this album. Are you? I just think it's great. They were out when I was a kid and I was there, you know, having the time of your life. You know, I just had a great time with that. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Thank you for bringing me a question that wasn't about Disney. I love ABBA. Yeah. UK Michelle, how are you, my dear? I was wondering if you wanted a podcast guest. Michelle does Disney Dream Girls, and I love the Disney Dream Girls. Michelle, please message me afterwards, as I would love to get together with you. It's been a long time since I've been a guest, and I would love to be a guest with you and maybe make an offer or something, do something fun for your podcast. So I would love that. Oh, welcome, my dear. So good to hear from you. I miss you. In 2019, I had made plans to go see all my friends in the UK. I was going to do a UK tour and go spend a few weeks up there, and Michelle was going to help me with that. And then the pandemic hit, and we want to do it in 2022 if we can. But you know, it's kind of so we got to just hang in there. What's your favorite classic TV show to stream? Yours is Golden Girls on Hulu. Oh, the Golden Girls are great. Don't you just love the really, really, really the older woman, the one who's not B. Arthur or you can tell me the other actress. I did a show with her, a puppet show with one of the other actresses there. It was great to tell her how much I liked Golden Girls. But I really like the super old, the white-haired old lady who really, I don't know if she had any history as an actress before, but I fell in love with her. To answer your question, Kung Fu and Columbo. Columbo, just one more thing. And snatch the pebble from my hand as quickly as you can. Snatch the pebble from my hand. I love Kung Fu. And when I was doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show theater when I was younger, I saw a guy dressed as Kane from Kung Fu, and I was going to tease him by saying, snatch the bubble from my hand. And when I tapped him on the shoulder, it was indeed David Carradine. I'm dressed as Magenta. He's dressed as Kane. Oh, well, stranger things have happened in Hollywood. But that was a real jaw dropper when I met him. But, and as Magenta, I had to say, you know, when I'm with Columbia and we're watching the television, we love Kung Fu. So not for very much longer. I would just in the character told him how much I loved it, but that was a real shocker for me. So yeah, Kung Fu and Columbo are my two old. If you want to go older, I was at my hairdresser's and it takes a long time to do the dreadlocks. So easily about 3 hours to dry it. So 2 to 3 hours to dry this mop of hair. We watched the first season of Bewitched. That was a trip. So much fun. Elizabeth Montgomery and Agnes Moorehead. Really fun. But we watched that. And we watched that on the Hulu network. And it was fun. That was really... I really enjoyed that. Yeah, my favorite Martian would be, as a little kid, I love that. Mr. Ed, the Talking Horse, was a big one with me. My sister loved the Adam West Batman. And she sent away on a cereal box for the little cape and the button and the bat ears that were made out of a black garbage bag. She should have kept it because I know that'd probably be worth a ton now. But she used to run around and be Batman when she was little. Thank you, Bonnie. He is cute, isn't he? My beloved little Mickey. I'm so proud of him. He's getting better and better. Switching up your dongle. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, my friend. I remember last Friday we talked on here about graphic design books. Did you find out any? You know what, Jacob? Thank you for that. And no, I did not. I'm going to write that down. And I will do that next Friday. Graphic design. I have to ask my husband specifically because he understands that terminology a little bit better than I do. So we will, and I'm going to put right here for Jacob on Friday. Sorry about that, Jacob. Been a busy week. It has been a busy week, I tell you. Sculpting and painting, and you know when you're in your zone, how fun that is when you're in your zone. You're painting and making a Mickey Mouse nice and cyborgy, and then you're sculpting Roly Crump chess set, and you are talking to the manufacturer about maybe September will be the month that I can start shipping ghosts again. Please, Lord, please. And then I'm hoping November, December to start the Cheshire Cat for 2022. Many of you have been wanting that Cheshire Cat, and as we move forward, I will keep you posted on the Cheshire Cat because I'd like to have him released in January of 2022 or December of 2021. But December is looking more and more precarious because I have a lot on my plate. So definitely Cheshire Cat will be released in 2022. Exactly when, I'm not sure. I have what I would like to have happen, but I need to see what life brings me. On top of all of this, I still take care of my little dog Rocket, make sure she's fed, and prepare the meals for my husband and I. So it's a busy schedule. There's life, and then there's your work. And you got to eat. So no complaints on making the meal. But you got to make time to make the meal, right? And then you offer charities to do something for a charity, like do a painting for the Red Dot auction for the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity. And you want to do that. I've done that every year and I love it. And I'm yet to get a red dot for a painting. I've done sculptures for them and always get a red dot. Duh. But since I'm not really a painter, I think people look at it and go, But this year I did a palette knife and it looks fun. It's chunky and I think it's cool. I did what I wanted, okay? Unfortunately, if it doesn't sell, I don't know that it comes back to me. I don't think so because it's really the property of the Red Dot of Chuck Jones Center for Creativity. So they're going to try and get what they like, towards the charity. If they can't get the $750, maybe they can get, $300 or $10. They don't tell me. So because they don't want me to be sad and they don't want me to quit, but I wouldn't quit. I'm still looking in the genre of Chuck Jones because some people will put up actual cells and bid on the actual cells from the cartoons. And so a lot of the collectors will go and spend thousands of dollars on an actual cell from the cartoon. So I get it. I'm just trying to see what people like. And some people just do a painting. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just their painting. So if they're an impressionist, if they want to do flowers, if they want to do manga or anime, they just do it. So there you go. Yeah. We'll see if I get lucky. Okay. I just had an idea for next year's, I'm just going to write it down so I don't forget. See, the good news is I'm willing to do it year after year after year because it gets me out of my comfort zone. And maybe I will win the coveted red dot. But I will do that, Jacob, for you. Do you like Funko Pops? Good question. I like them. I don't own them. I have a friend who told me about the dinosaurs ones, and I almost bought Baby But baby looked so possessed that I was afraid I would paint the eyes. You know, when you're an artist, you start to say, how can I improve upon this? And I don't think improving on a Funko Pop is very nice to Funko Pop, is it? Funko Pop has created a line of characters that a lot of people like. And, you know, there's some I like. I thought the Iron Man Funko Pop was pretty cool. And I thought the Marshmallow Man Funko Pop was pretty cool. But they kind of lend themselves to it, kind of like my Robo Mickey. Some of them just don't tend to lend themselves to the characters. Very odd. They're very odd. But I don't dislike them. I'm fascinated by them, actually, and fascinated by the collecting of them. But I really like the Marshmallow Man one. I think that's probably my favorite one that I saw. Baby was a little too scary. And then some of the other characters and dinosaurs were just weird to me. But I'm glad that you guys like them. I'm glad y'all like them. But they're, you know, if Funko Pop asked me to design one for them, I would. I think it would be fun to see what I could do. I mean, because I'm not a Vinylmation fan. I'm not. I don't like them. I think they're just plain weird. I think they're one of the smartest marketing campaigns, though, where you don't know what you're getting and you have to buy a box and it's non-refundable. That's free money, you know. So again, Disney does it again with a brilliant move. But they just weren't my thing. And but I really do like this one because I pretty much took it and made it something that was different from Mickey using what it was there. I just decided to do a Robo Mickey and use what was there instead of trying to make him something that he wasn't, like Stitch or something. Originally, I thought I might make a Stitch, but then I was like, no, I don't think I would be happy with that. So as an artist, I just made a Mickey. And if they have me do another Mickey, I'll come up with another idea that's around the Mickey or Minnie Mouse line. You know, yeah, I just, that's kind of me. That's not kind of me. That's me. I mean, I got to be real. Hello, Stephen. Yeah, 8 pawns. I said 6, didn't I? Sorry about that. You can tell who doesn't play chess. So here's a perfect example from Stephen. 8 pawns staring at you from across the board. And obviously someone who understands the chessboard. I understand there's 6 different figures that will then be reproduced. The queen twice, the king twice, the rook twice, the bishop twice, the knight twice, the pawns 16 times. Right, Stephen? Yeah. 2 times 8, 16. But I do have chess people. Rolly's a chess player. My husband is a chess player. And then the other day I was in a conversation with who was also a chess player. And he told me the same thing. And they are all, my friend Chris McCulley, who is an amazing comic book artist. He was explaining to me, and you can tell me if this is the case too, Stephen, he wanted me to be aware that when you capture a piece, you tend to fondle it. You tend to love on it. Like you've captured your, you kind of check it out and hold it and love on it. So he was enforcing the fact that I need to make them pretty doggone strong. If you've seen some of the collectible chess sets, they are ridiculous. I don't know. I guess they assume you're not going to play with them because they're so super fragile. They could break in a New York minute. And one of the things chess players told me is that you don't, if this is a chess piece right here, you don't grab it like this and move it, okay? You move it like this. So I need to make sure this is strong, okay? I can't assume that you're gonna move it like this. You're gonna move it like this. And then you're gonna rest your finger on it as you think about, see, chess players have told me this, Stephen, you're gonna have your finger resting on it until you're sure that's the move you want to make, or you're going to move it back and then move another, right? Correct? Correct. Yes. Oh, look at what I thought I didn't have, and now I do. That's what I'm pointing out, is that I talked to a lot of chess players about the pieces, and I was really excited when I spoke with Rolly earlier this week, actually yesterday, and he's a chess player. So he was talking to me about some of the things that he knew I would need to alter and change, and he liked the way I was creating the situation. So, yeah. So I'm making it so that you can move them around, and and they're safe to move should you choose to do it. Bella and Grandma, you may have been long gone by now, but I hope that you listen later and hear me say, hi, Bella and Grandma, and everybody back home in the UK. I did hear Jenna say that it's cold in the UK. I think you're trying to make me jealous. And I love the cold. And they were in Jamaica for a while, having a nice, wonderful Jamaican experience. Apparently, Bella, who is 11 now, I got to do the math. She's getting bigger. She's growing like a weed. Kids do that, don't they? She pretty much did not get out of the water, that crystal, beautiful, blue, warm, yummy water. And her mom and her grandma just sort of watched her swim like a porpoise all the time for weeks. However weeks they were there, she was just swimming like this all the time, coming up to have lunch and then going back and swimming again. That's the way kids are when it comes to a pool or the ocean. Isn't that true? Yeah. I noticed that when I'm at the Disney hotel, like parents are like, oh yeah, they go in the pool. What about Disneyland? Yeah, they'll go there eventually, but the pool. Kids love the pool. And I love that kids love the pool. So welcome back. Grandma will sort the PayPal for the book. Can you bring it when you come to stay? Of course. And did I send your grandma an invoice? I will send her an invoice from PayPal if that's easier for her. Okay? Just message me and say, PayPal me for how many books you want. 10 books or more, you get a special price, okay? So just write to me and we'll work that out. 1 book, I'll just send you an invoice for that, and we'll go from there. $18, and I'll put it in my luggage. Yep. Next year. I better have luggage as big as Nebraska, because all the things that I got to take to the people in the UK that I'm accommodating. Which Disney books have you done? Cheryl, I have a lot of Disney books that I'm in. I didn't necessarily do art. I don't mean to be confusing. I did my book, which is Tales from TERRI, A Disney Sculptor's Life, which is currently I'm remastering it. Yeah, in all my spare time. I'm remastering that, and I will sell that as a hardcover. It talks about my life as a Disney Imagineering artist. And then I'm doing a Star Wars book that I hope will be due out next May the 4th. That's in production. Well, on my end, it's not production yet. And then there are some Disney books that Disney has put out that I'm in. So the Disney Paris Imagineer book, I'm in that. I'm in the what's the title of it? Imagineering the Building of a Dream. I'm in that on page 80. And then I am I'm in a ton of them. I'm in so many, I couldn't begin to tell you. But it's mostly me doing my work as an Imagineer in these books. So I don't know if I have a picture of the Imagineering book, but let me see if I do. Yes, I do. So here's a book that I'm in. Imagineering the Building of a Dream. This comes in paperback and hardback. And first edition were hardback, and I'm on page 80 of this book. This is the first book Imagineers got credit, and they spelled my name wrong, but who cares? My picture is in there. Page 80, so I'm very excited about that. So there's a quick picture of a book that I'm in that I could quickly pull and show you. If next week you want to see the other one, it's the Disneyland Paris book. I can dig that up and show you. And then I'm sure there's others. Yeah. And if I could remember where the TikTok guy was who was talking about my Michael Jackson experience, you could see me on there too. But anyway, I hope that helps. Jenny G, woohoo! Love bugging it. I know, right? Love to have you join the virtual one. Maybe next year in 2022, I can come to Canada and we can sculpt live. Jenny came down to the US and sculpted live with me in 2019, and it was a blast, and she was really good. People are really good at this because they have someone who has their back. That's me. And you will do a great job. And then it unlocks your mind to creativity. If you didn't think you were creative before, it unlocks your mind and helps you become creative. And if you are creative, it expands on that. And it's amazing what you can do once you've done one of these pumpkins. I know it sounds weird, but once you sculpt a pumpkin, all worlds open for you creatively. It is a weird thing, but it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. I'm not getting woo-woo on you. It's the absolute truth. Thank you, Janny. Sneaked in to say hi, friends. Hope you have a great weekend. Angie, I'm glad you snuck, and I hope you do too. I missed your little self. I know you're working, and congratulations on being at work and having a job and all that cool stuff. But it's always great to see you here. So I'm glad you popped in to say hello. Have a good weekend if you have to go. You can get your booster vaccination starting in late September. I can, or special health risk people, Leo. Beginning in September, because if that's the case, guess what I'm doing? Consider it done. Jacob says, when is Outrageous Pumpkin TV show coming back on TV? Would love to catch up. Good. You want to catch up with me on television? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The nice thing about the Food Network is every year they show all the shows. Like, what is it? Halloween Wars, they show all the seasons. And Outrageous Pumpkins, they show all the seasons. So past seasons and everything, that will happen late September and into October is what I'm thinking, seasons. I can't say anything more because I don't have the exact dates or anything, but usually what's been happening in the past is on Halloween, they show you. And that's all I can say about that right now. But thank you for asking. And I'm a judge on there. So that's why the question. Leo, and the variants are hitting younger people hard. ICU beds are filled up. Yes, it is true. It is very true. And it's not fun. You don't like the virus. If you're an adult, just imagine if you're a little kid. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I haven't had it, and I'm going to keep it that way. But more importantly, I don't want to give it to you. The nice thing for me is I go and visit my mother every week, and I'm tested every week for COVID because I cannot go see my mother until I have a negative COVID test, even though I'm vaccinated fully. Let me say that again. I'm tested every week before I visit my mother in the convalescent hospital, and it must be a negative before I go in, even though I'm vaccinated and they have my card on file. So this is the clarity of this thing, okay? Better safe than sorry. And I always have to stay masked because my mother no longer walks, and I'm in the room with her other patients, and the other patients have to be protected too. So I must wear my mask at all time while visiting my mother. And it's worth it. But every week I'm tested. So if I had any worries, I'd just go visit my mom and get tested. It takes 2 minutes, which is a surprise to me. I think every place should have this 2-minute test because it's fantastic and I'm grateful. Perhaps I missed it, but the pumpkin carving class, can one of those craft pumpkins be used or not recommended? You can try that. It's going to be different tools. I don't know the material of the craft pumpkin. I would suggest using a real pumpkin first, Bonnie, if you're going to do the virtual class, and then migrate into one of those, grab one of those if you can get it on sale for 50% off, and then test it, and then get yourself a real pumpkin. And I will be telling you, those of you who are going to be virtually and buying your own pumpkins, I will tell you which pumpkins would be good for you to carve so you don't get upset. Because if you go into a supermarket and you just buy one of those pumpkins, no offense to Mexico, but a lot of those are like celery. And when you're carving it, it catches a thread and can rip your pumpkin in half. And that's really devastating if you're a beginner to just see your pumpkin, all your art, just, you catch one of those threads like in celery and it rips it. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst feeling. And that's why I teach the way I teach, is to keep you feeling good as you progress. Because as a beginner, you get trepidatious, you get a little nervous. Did you go too far? Did you make a mistake? I'm there to help you feel good about what you do. We go nice and slow because we have a lot of time, and we do it that way live. Virtually, we have about 3 hours, but I will stay longer if you need it. Okay. So last year I did the whole thing virtually, and I need to reach out to one of the students there, and I hope he has warmer weather. He was carving a frozen pumpkin. Poor thing. He just tried it turned out beautiful, but he was in such cold weather, sub-freezing, and he's in a tent trying to carve a pumpkin because the wife won't let him in the house because it's a little bit messy. But bless his heart, he was a trooper, and it turned out really nice. He did Frankenstein. He did a great job. Thank you for that, Bonnie. But yes, I would go with a regular pumpkin first, but see if you can grab one of those craft pumpkins at a special price so that you could try it, and then you can tell me how it works. Because I've thought about it. I just haven't, Many people during the year use butternut squash because it has a lovely color and they can carve it. And the seeds are usually in the bottom. So you can chop that off, get the seeds, and then you have that whole solid unit. So that's another thing you can sculpt. Michael, a friend of mine, Michael, he did that. Michael Roman. Well, happy birthday, Miss Connie. Is it your birthday, Miss Connie? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Connie. Happy birthday to you. How fun. Thank you for telling me, Deanna, before it was over so I could say something. Hi, Stephanie. I love your dragon. I miss her so much. I know. See, the people in the UK go over to see the dragon on a regular basis. And they are the ones that told me, first of all, she's a she. And they visit her regularly. In fact, that's how Bella and I met, my 11-year-old little rock star. She and I met in front of Big Thunder, which was getting renovated at the time. So I took people through and talked about it while standing in front of Phantom. It's not the Phantom Manor, the Haunted Mansion in Paris. They have a little area where you can stand, and I took a group of people to do that. And but I met Bella in front of Big Thunder. She was dressed in her cute little Snow White outfit, and I told her about the dragon, and she wanted to go with me to see it. So I took her and told her about the dragon when we went in to see the dragon, and it's been her best friend ever since. So she loves dragons, as do I. So we're kindred spirits, and she's one of my best friends, that's for sure. Thank you. Sleeping Beauty Castle and your dragon are my number one reason for wanting to go to Disneyland Paris. I know. Isn't that lovely, Cheryl? Also the food. I got to tell you, French food is so good. So good. Cafe creme, cafe American, cafe au lait, which they don't usually say au lait much. Is wonderful. In fact, when I was in Paris and I was touring, I was taking a group on tour, we drank coffee at lunch, and the French were like, what? Why are you drinking coffee at lunch? But the coffee is so delicious. Their croissants are there's just nothing like eating in Paris, I got to tell you. So when you're there, be sure to on Main Street, there is a little one of those window service places where you walk up to the window and you order. Be sure to, it may not look like much, but it's got it where it counts. Be sure to order there. The food is delicious. I will caution you when you go to Paris, there's Cafe Remy, which is an amazing restaurant. You got to see it. It's fantastic. In fact, if you really want to have the full experience, ride the Remy ride and then check out the restaurant, but don't pay for a meal. The food is awful. I don't think it's changed. I have a chef who's French, and she says it's terrible. It's the worst. Do not go. But you can go. You can't really go through the restaurant and be like Remy in the restaurant if you don't order something. So order a dessert flight. They used to actually have a dessert flight there for 60 euros, which was a great deal. But now you can do your own. Just ask your server, tell him all you want is dessert and coffee, and you will be in heaven. It will cost you around 60 euros instead of 300 euros. And you'll be much happier. Eat somewhere else and have just the dessert at Chez Remy, and you're really going to be happy. They say that Chez Remy's coming over to Florida, I believe it is, and hopefully the food will be better here because, but that's the one warning I can give you. Danger, danger. People go in, and I did, as a matter of fact, spent about 300 euros, and the food was just awful. The one thing that is really good is the ratatouille, oddly enough, is delicious, but everything else was really not good. And so I just want to save you. Spend your money on some of the merchandise. I have some beautiful plates that I purchased in Paris that are Chez Remy plates, and they say in Paris. And one of my concerns was, as you guys really know, once a park has an attraction with their feet in a U.S. park, sometimes it'll say Walt Disney World, or it will say Disney products. It won't have made in Paris. Right now, with the Remy restaurant only being in Paris, my plates are from Paris, and I just love them. I cherish them. I cherish them. The one investment I did for myself, because I wanted them made in Paris, but you know how it is if you're at Disneyland and you get Walt Disney World stuff in the merchandising area. I don't even get that. If you wanted Walt Disney World stuff, you'd go to Walt Disney World, I'm thinking. But we want Disneyland stuff in Disneyland, and that's always been my gripe, but I'm digressing again. But that is a good reason to go, and there's so many others. Big Thunder, Going Under, Coming Up on an Island is fabulous. Their Haunted Mansion is actually a decrepit mansion. I've always felt a haunted mansion should be old, withered, broken, and scary, and they've hit all the stops on that. The maze is fun. They have a hedge maze because that's a European thing. It's beautiful. Lots of things to see at Disneyland Paris that you would truly, truly, truly enjoy. So I urge you to go. It is a lovely, lovely park. Don't stay at the Disneyland Hotel. Visit the Disneyland Hotel. At €1,000 or whatever it is a night, go stay just outside. If you want to know what hotel I go to that I love, even Imagineers stay there. It's the best. And it has a shuttle into the park. You're going to save a lot of money for your merchandise and your food. I'm just saying, that's what I recommend. If you have your heart set on staying at a Disneyland hotel in Paris, congratulations. It does have early entry. And if that's important to you, the Disneyland Hotel is there. But for $1,000 a night, I don't know if that's really truly worth it to me for early entry. There are other hotels, but you got to bus in or walk. It is a bit of a walk. It is, and the buses don't necessarily leave super, super early. They can, but it's, sometimes it's kind of like this. But the other hotels are nice, but there's one just outside. It's got a shuttle. It gets you in before park opening, and it's great, and it is a fraction. What you pay for one night at the Disneyland Hotel, you can stay 7 days at this particular hotel, and it's beautiful. And ask yourself, how long are you going to be spending at the hotel, really, that you can't just go? If you want to eat at the Disneyland Hotel, you can make reservations. If you want to do events or things there, it's open to everybody. So I'm just saying, okay, just my advice, my little hack if you go. My favorite ride, Thunder Mountain. Yes. And Thunder Mountain is the best there. It's the best one. Oh, sorry. That's lots of times. Great deal. Comment was related to the Disneyland visits and pass. Yes. It is a great deal if you visit as much as I do, but I'm visiting you guys. When you come over and you say you're at the park. Now, understand if you don't have a pass, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Sorry, Deanna. I don't mean your cats. But there's more than one way to do this. We can meet in downtown Disney. We can meet at other areas. And people say Knott's Berry Farm is really cool. I have not been there in a long time. But the point is, there's places we can meet outside of Disneyland if you happen to be in Anaheim and you want to get together. So if you don't feel, and you don't have to be in Anaheim if you're not going to go to Disneyland. So if you don't have a pass and you don't plan on spending that money, and you're not going to stay in Anaheim unless you want to see the downtown Disney, which has great restaurants, by the way. So you might just want to do that for that. But the point is there's areas we can get together that have nothing to do with owning a pass. So don't feel that you have to exclusively do that. One of the things that's great about this Dream Key Pass is you saw Michelle of Disney Dream Girls. She can only come at Christmas. Now I can attempt to make a Christmas Day reservation and actually meet her at Disneyland when she's in town. So she's always coming in town, and it's always Christmas. And we usually reach through the bars and say hello to each other. So we can come up with something different, or we can, now that I have the pass, I can do that too. So you're right. Disney Pass is a great bargain if you go as many times as I do. My car goes there automatically. It hasn't recently because of the pandemic, but it does go there. And yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I still have yet to see the Avengers Camp. So I'm kind of California adventure bound because I'd like to see that. I think that would be fun. Good morning. Have you had a chance to watch the behind the scenes Disney rides on Disney Plus? I have not seen the Disney rides. I did watch Haunted Mansion because Rolly's on it. And you may have seen Rolly on the Haunted Mansion one hold up the clock with the skull and everything on it. That's going to be the Rook in the chess set. So I watched that very closely. He also has a Candleman, and the Candleman is going to be the knight, I think. Is he going to be the knight? Yeah, I think he's the, let me look. Instead of guessing, let me see. Yeah, the Candleman is the knight. So on the behind the scenes of Haunted Mansion, Rolly has around him this figure, and this figure. And this figure he has very large. It's big. And he's worked on it. So I watched that to see how he interpreted his piece so that I too can kind of get a feeling of what I want to do for that piece as well. And then his Candleman. This is going to be one of the more challenging ones because he has a 2-point, just 2, and I need 3. So I got to figure out what we're going to do. I think what I might do for the Candleman is to pull this all the way down, and he has his 3-point. He has his 3-point anchor. If I take this, his trident and put it down there, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what you think of as a sculptor. What am I going to do to make them sturdy? So when you play with them, they don't break. But I'll watch more of it. I did get to see What If, and last Wednesday, What If was kind of sad to me. Have you seen that What If? The one where, well, I don't really want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it because it just dropped Wednesday. But I think it alienates Marvelites. If you're a Marvelite and you watch it, let me know. But if you're someone who loves Marvel, I don't think you're going to love this episode, and I don't know why they would do this. If you're a Marvelite and you like that episode, then let me know because it's very sad that... It's very sad. Well, it's just sad that they were alienating Marvel, people who love Marvel. At least that's what's my feeling. My husband loves Marvel, and he really hated that episode. So just a warning, he wasn't a fan of that episode at all. He thought it was really, he didn't like it. Let me just say that, okay? I don't want to spoil it for you, but maybe next week we can talk about it. Episode 3, I think it is, yeah. Your stories always make me smile. Great storyteller. Learn a lot as well. Good, Bonnie. Years ago, Bonnie and everyone listening, I would tell stories and then I would leave. And I had someone in the audience. This is when you love, you don't judge how many are in the audience. Have you ever heard someone say, if there's not so many people in the audience, I'm not coming? Have you had that happen to you if you're an event planner or whatever? I won't do that. Okay? I won't do that. If you got 6 people show up and I've been told there are 30 and only 6 are there, lucky you. We'll all have a coffee. We'll take a moment, make a coffee, sit around, and we'll have a coffee talk, And yay for you. There's only 6 people, but so what? The reason I say this is I say this to speakers. What if one of those 6 was Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Branson? Then you wish the other 5 would disappear, don't you? So never judge by the people. You never know who's in the audience. And you want to deliver to everybody because it needs to be important to everybody. It needs to be, people need it. The people who are there need it. I never worry about that. But it makes me think about this because there was a person in the audience who said, it would really be nice if instead of just telling your story and leaving it hang there, like the Jim Henson story I just told you, if I left it hanging there and not explained how it could apply to you, because let's face it, as you're listening, there's a lot of what about me, isn't it? What about me? What do you have to help me? And that's only normal. You're you want to know how to improve yourself, right? You could be of service to others. I know you are, and people on this channel. But a lot of people are like, wow, you've met all kinds of wonderful people. What do I care? Why do I care? Why should I care? Okay. You may not be saying that. You love the stories. But when this guy said that, he wasn't doing it to offend me. He was helping me. He was about helping me be a better speaker. And I'll always be grateful, because now any story that I tell, I will turn it so that I can help you. You know, I'm telling you this story to help you with the story. Okay. So that's what made me think about people in the audience. And when you're appearing, you try to do it for people. Also, people will give me, 40 minutes, and I'll look down and I'll see someone falling asleep, and I'll think they're bored. And they just, every time I talk to them, I say, did I bore you? And they say, no, I didn't get any sleep yesterday. Or my cat was, it's never me, which is very sweet. But I do know that you can be very tired, which is why I have my friends text me, because it's short, sweet, and they can get on with their lives. So understand, if you pop off, it's okay. You can always come back and listen later. I get it. I am definitely hoping to go over to Muppet Vision 3D on the list. Yes, you're going to love it. I was so excited that it was still there. I was like, ee! And then there's a Muppet store next door. You can't miss it. Go there and get cool stuff. It was closed for the day by the time you got there. Yeah, make it first on your list, and then go over next door and see that cool Muppet. It's small, the Muppet store, but it's got some cool stuff in it. I got a great t-shirt. I don't know if I got anything else, but I love the t-shirt. And I don't buy t-shirts, but I thought this one was cute. So I grabbed that when I was there. I was so excited that it was open, because we don't have it here in California. It's gone, and I miss it. One of the things I loved was seeing the cast members in their lab coats, and it said Muppet 3D. Oh, I wanted one of those so bad. You covet what you can't have, right? Thankful for you, Terry, and others. Thank you, Bonnie. See, that's what I'm saying. Bonnie took the time to say how thankful she is. And I've got to say thank you when you say that. It means a lot. It makes me keep coming back to the YouTube channel, because I'm not, you don't see commercials during my YouTube, because it's not big enough to monetize. Honestly, it's not, and I am not apologizing for that. It's for people who really want to be here. And if this is not your thing, I understand. Life is time. Your time is your time. So if I'm helping you out, I really am happy. And thank you, Bonnie, for letting me know. That is so sweet of you. The one with this, you're going to have to remind me of that. Oh, tablet. Yes. Yes. The tablet that is on, that you draw. Yeah. Jacob, Cintiq is what you need to get if you're going to draw on the tablet and do all your computer stuff right there, directly, like the iPad and the pencil, right? If I cut to my camera 3 right here to make it more interesting for you, here is my iPad, and the pencil is right here. So there's the pencil. Here's the pencil. There's the pencil. It magnetizes to the top, which I'm going to tell you is not the best thing, but it's better than it sticking out the end, which is why I said get the iPad Pro. But this is here. It is connected to my camera system, so I can use it for that, but I can also draw with it. It's very multifunctional, which is one of the reasons I really love the iPad. I love a Swiss Army knife because I are one. I'm a Swiss Army knife, and I guess I like other Swiss Army knives, things that do multiple things. So that's what I love about it. I was able to show you how to go to my website on my iPad. I can draw on my iPad, and I can look through stuff with it. So love ABBA, says Deanna. Yeah, I mean, it's just so exciting. That was and the music just fills your body. Does anybody not like ABBA? Because it's such a feel-good set of songs. What a fun thing. They must really love getting together. Their songs are just uplifting and fun and I don't know. They don't sound bubblegum to me. They sound really fun. So I really do like them. I like them a lot. They're so, so, so special. That's the thing, Jacob, about the Wacom is it's not as versatile as the iPad. You can draw, you can surf, you can send, you can. Adobe Illustrator is making a version They've got a version now, but it's the first version, and they're working on their Illustrator version for iPad. So iPad has got a lot of versatility to it, and I'm grateful for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I hope that helps. I mean, Wacom is wonderful. I had Wacom for a long time, and I really, really enjoyed it, but it seems to be kind of focused in one area, which can be a good thing. If you're graphic designing, as you have said, it could be, you know, but go to, best thing to do is to go to one of these trade shows as soon as you can find one again and compare them. You know, you can go over to, what I did is I went over to Apple and I played with the pad, and then I went over to Wacom and I played with the pads. Because they let you do that. You know, say I'm in the market for one. Also, they'll give you a deep discount on one if you are at one of those trade shows there. So it's a really good way to go if you hear about someone, you know, Wacom's going to be at a show like NAB, or I forget what the other one is called. But I went to an NAB. I actually demoed one time there for the Wacom pads because they didn't have a demo artist. So I sketched and showed people about layers and everything, because it's a great pad. Either one is going to be wonderful. I just went with this this iPad Pro because it just has more versatility for me. But that's the thing. So not sure. That's it. Oh, good. I love it. I love it when I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. Would really love to go to a Shadowcast one. I got to tell you, I had such a great time doing it. I played Magenta for 2-3 years at the Tiffany Theater in Hollywood. And we did 2 shows every Saturday night. And then I would take the makeup off and head towards the Renaissance Fair and be the Queen's jester for the daytime. And when you're young, you got energy to burn, don't you? I still have energy, but not that kind of energy to burn. But it was a lot of fun, and I agree with you. Love Bewitched. It is, yeah. And if you haven't seen it, guys, check it. You know, at first I thought the first season was in black and white, but it actually was in color. But a lot of people didn't own color TVs, which is why Agnes Moorehead is dressed in that hideous, pardon me, green and purple outfit for the whole season. It's so it looks good on black and white. True story. Oh, thank you, T, for saving me. But yeah, you got to check it out. If you've got Roku, check it out. It's really cool. My all-time favorite TV show, I Love Lucy. Oh, Bonnie. I own the series and have watched it countless times. Still laugh at it like as if it's new. That is so true. My husband is not a Lucy fan. But there are some shows that Lucille Ball did that are iconic. One of my favorite of all times is the one where she does the mirror bit with Harpo Marx. I love that one. I can watch that one a million times. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And then there's Vitamina Vegemin, which is great. And of course, the candy one where she's on the conveyor belt and she's trying it. Those are my favorites. So yeah, I'm a fan too. I can't watch it with my husband in that room because he can't stand her. He's not a hater, but he just, no, please get it off the screen. So for whatever reason, she just doesn't do it. The other one, which I'll say in honor of Michael Joseph Luzzy, is Carol Burnett. I never tire of Carol Burnett, and I have the whole Carol Burnett series. I love Carol Burnett, and Michael is a really good friend with Carol. And I've always said to him, just let her know I'm still watching her. My own syndication. I have DVDs and I love it. And I watch it all the time. I think it's great because you got Tim Conway busting up Harvey Korman and Carol. They can barely stand it because Tim Conway is so doggone funny. So I just love that stuff. I love it. That's okay. You're one busy beaver. I am. I think when you're busy, and let's talk about being busy. People tell you you're busy. You saw my calendar. It's not there for show. It's for real. But here's the thing about being busy that I want to caution you if you're busy. If you're busy kind of like me, if you're busy more than me, or you're busy like me, basically you're busy. Give yourself 1 day in 7 to rest and own it. Okay. My day is Sunday. I do not do anything. I don't do any outside stuff on Sunday unless it's like the show and sale was going to be on Sunday, the 12th of September, and now it's in May. I set that's the family day with me and my husband, and I make sure it's all about him and my little dog. That can be a plethora of, that can be a bouquet of things. We could go out for a nice lunch. We can stay home and get a few things done. Or we can just sit. What I usually do is let him sleep in. And then when he wakes up, I create this amazing brunch. It can be eggs Benedict. It can be a quiche. It can be a variety of things, but I try to blow the doors off of breakfast and make this wonderful breakfast, sometimes mimosa, sometimes not. He makes his special coffee and we have this lovely brunch. And then sometimes we'll just kick back on the bed together, support our backs. We have one of those beds that goes up, and we'll catch up on a show that we want to see. As you know, today is Ted Lasso Day. So the first thing we're going to do is my husband gets off early today. So we're going to immediately go. I'm going to make lunch and we're going to watch Ted Lasso. Usually we wait till Saturday, but today he's off early. For whatever reason, I don't even care. I'm just glad he's off early. So we'll sit down. I'll make a nice lunch and we'll kick back. And then he'll make us steak dinner tonight. We don't eat a lot of red meat. Like every 2 or 3 months, we'll have some. Simply because for our health, it's better that we don't. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm total carnivore. I love a good steak. See, I'm already salivating. Isn't that terrible on screen? But if you are busy, 1 day in 7 to rest. And please tell yourself you're going to dedicate yourself to this day off, whether you're sleeping, reading a good book, in a bath with a glass of wine, however you see this day for you to relax. Just don't do work. Try to stay away from your phone and your computer for 1 day. Make that Sunday. And don't feel guilty about it because we work so consistently. We feel every second of every minute of every hour of every day, time is of the essence. And we're not comfortable when we're not doing something, when our hands aren't moving or we aren't moving. So give yourself that Sunday to not move, to catch up on things that are fun. Maybe you do something fun for yourself. Maybe you do Lego. Maybe you, if you like Lego. If you hate Lego, don't do it. Maybe you do a puzzle. You know, if you're busy, you go pull out a puzzle. It doesn't have to be 500 million pieces. It can be 150, you know, and you know, you can really enjoy it, you know. There is a online puzzle place that I love. I bought the free app. I downloaded it. What's the name of that? I love it because if I can't get internet on a plane, every once in a while, a plane will say, oops, we don't have, it's called Jigsaw HD, JIGSAW HD. And every day they give you free puzzles. You can buy puzzles if you fall in love with it, but they give you free puzzles and you can do the puzzles right on your tablet. It's a lot of fun. It's fun. I know some people like to feel the little puzzle pieces. I do too. But on the plane, I don't have to take them all with me and I don't run any risk of dropping any. So that's why I love this app called Jigsaw HD. It's really a fun little app. It has some silly music on it and it's fun. So if you're a puzzle person, when I fly, sometimes I can't, you know, sometimes the Wi-Fi will go down on the plane and you're like, what do I do now, guys? I just fire up the Jigsaw and do that. Many will do solitaire, which I also have a solitaire, but I really like the Jigsaw puzzle because it comes up with a lot of fun things, a lot of really great pictures, and it's cool. So just in case that's something you would like to do for yourself because you deserve it, I highly recommend you do that because it's fun. It's really fun. I was going to reach over there. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to reach over here. Jenna's still here. Aw, you guys are the sweetest for taking the time to stay. You're so lovely. And I can't get over all the comments that are here today. I'm very touched by that, guys. 10 years. 10 years old. Yeah. See? I lose track of you, Bella, because you grow like a weed. And before I know it, you're going to be in college. And I'll be like, what happened? Was I asleep for all that time? Bella. My 10-year-old little minx. Yes, she's a doll. Oh, I hid that one. I didn't mean to do that. Used to love chess as a kid, would go to my neighbor's house and we would use their computer to play. Not that in mid-30s no one wants to play with me. Now that you're in the mid-30s, I may have forgotten how to. The thing is that I think a lot of the collectible chess sets assume that you're not going to play chess. And I don't think that's a really good idea. I'm learning that now from the chess players in my group. I don't play it. I played it for a while and got lucky one time. Beginner's luck is what I call it. I played it. But there's centuries of strategy in it, guys. And sometimes I'll bet you there's ways to learn how to play it on YouTube. There is so many times. I finished my breakfast. Yay. What time is it? Lunch. Now you know my artist path. I mean, come on, right? So, Bonnie, I'm sure there's someone who will play with you now that you've done this shout out. Now you can say to somebody, would you? The paces with, I'll tell you, I would set this chess set up, this Roly Crump chess set up because the pawn looks so good. And I think the characters are going to look really good. And they're going to have that earthy look. So I'm talking to Roly about color. I've asked him to think about color. It's way down the line. It's down a few months, but I wanted him to kind of think about it because there's all kinds of things we can do. And I'm not going to let you know some of the things that we're talking about yet because I gave him 2 or 3 options and I want to see which one he picks. I hope he may throw it back in my court and say, you pick, Terry. And then I will get with my tribe on Patreon and we'll have a conference. That's where a lot of my decisions are made, is with that group. I sit there and I say, what do you think? What would you like? And stuff like that. So I hope you'll join the tribe if you decide to. Zach and Corey got our keys, went yesterday and Wednesday already. So many walk-on rides, weekday evenings right now. Yeah, I know, right? Don't you love it? This is a great time to go. Zach and Corey are telling you like it is. You can experience Disneyland like you've never experienced it before, and you'll have a blast. Yes. Thank you, Zach and Corey, for weighing in. I think that is a brilliant idea. 8 months after your first COVID shot, you can get a booster. Okay, I got mine. When did I get mine? I have to look. Because I think mine was, I can't remember when people were allowed to get it that weren't a health risk. Was that April, I think? I think it was April. I know it was April because I was going to get another medical procedure and they told me not to do it until after I was vaccinated. So I had to postpone it till June. So yes, April. So May, June, July, August, September. How many months? October. I have to wait till November, right? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, I think. Is that right? Somebody do the math for me. Now you know my weakness. People go, what is your weakness? Math. Thought it was 8 months after the second shot. Right. So she's talking about the booster. So if I want a booster, I have to wait 8 months. 8 months would be Christmas month for me, it looks like, because I got mine done in April. My 1 and 2 were in April. Mm-hmm. That's because I'm not high risk, at least yet. I'm not someone who needs to go right away. I was underage. And I wasn't high risk. And so, the double whammy. Some people, I just had to be healthy. No. I'm very happy to be healthy. I'm very, very happy to only have a couple of little things going on with me. I'm so grateful. Beginning September 20th, contact your provider. Okay, I will. Leo, I love you, man. I love you. About the booster. Yes, I get it. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. We have to test every other day because grandma has a very low immune system. There you go. It's high risk, right? And every other day, I think, is a little bit, well, if you're going to school, Bella, I think that's a really good idea that you test all the time, okay? And as they said, kids are getting it. We don't want you to get it, okay? So I'm glad they're testing you as often. And, you know, it's tickly in your nose. I heard a lot of the kids were like, it's tickly in my nose. Yeah, it certainly is. You go, when you have to do that swab up the nose thing. You're like, you know, you make all kinds of funny faces. But do it with a friend and you'll laugh. Michael Roman, what is the name of the Imagineering book from Paris Disneyland? I'm not sure. It's in the place where I'm not. So I will grab it when I can and show it to you next week. Let me write that down. Get Paris book. Book I'm in. It might be Imagine Paris, you know, about Paris Disneyland, actually, is what I'm thinking. There we go. There we go. Okay. Thank you for asking, Michael. I'll make sure. Anyone who wants. Okay. All right. Okay. I will do just what you said after September 20th. I'm going to put that in my calendar. Them. Okay. Let's do this right. The boosters available who want them. There we go. According to what I've read from real news sites, digress away, I'm all in favor of park-specific, and I can't even say that word, but wasn't that fun? Was that fun to do that ladder? That was fun. Thank you, Leo. I like climbing that ladder. Paul says, I'd recommend staying at Newport Bay at Disneyland Paris. It's faster to walk to the parks than to take the shuttle. Yeah, Newport Bay is very nice. It's very nice, but I have a better one if you don't want to stay at a Disneyland hotel. If you do, I think Paul is correct. That's the best Disneyland. However, what is it? It was the New York, and now it's the Adventures one. A lot of people say that could be cool. That might be fun just to see. If you're a Marvelite, that would be the place to stay, wouldn't it? So that could be an option. I don't know how expensive it is or whatever, but like I said, the place I'm talking about, you can save some money. And how often are you in the hotel is what you got to ask yourself. Good morning, by the way. Paul, I knew you were there, and good morning. That's so sweet. Hey, Tim Gillette, how are you? Now, Tim Gillette today, he is my mentor in all things blog and video, simple, easy marketing. And he teaches classes for me to attend. And he did one today while I was here with you. But he did say he was sorry. And I said I was sorry that I wasn't going to get to go see his class. But he records them for special people. And I'm special. So he recorded it for those folks. But if you're someone who wants to do blogs, YouTube channel, podcasts, and the like, Tim Gillette is a great person for that. SimpleEasyMarketing.com, SimpleEasyMarketing.com. Every month he does a event that you pay $20 and you get all the events. So it's not $20 per event. It's $20 for the whole Ballywick to see these virtual events. So I highly recommend Simple Easy Marketing. And go check it out. He's a great teacher. He's definitely someone who's helped me. And I just realized, Tim, I have a major question for you. So later I will ask you. I can't believe it, but all of a sudden it popped into my head and I was like, I need to ask him this question. It's a StreamYard question, actually. So just if I forget when I text you, say it's a StreamYard question. But thank you for popping on, Tim, so I could give you a little blurb there. Deanna, have they changed the backlot tour at Universal Studios? They have a little bit, but if you want to have a tour at Universal Studios before you book one, have a chat with me, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Reach out to me if you're going to be in town, all right? No guarantees, but we can talk specifically about the different ones they offer. And reach out to me, okay? That would be great. I don't think it's possible to be bored when you speak. Some people are just tired. and you'll look down and you'll see people being sleepy, and you don't want to bore them. You automatically think that. But sometimes they're just tired, and they can sleep through anything, hurricanes. And I am usually the hurricane. Paul knows that when Paul is a part of an event, he usually has me speak after you guys have had lunch. Now, any of you who are professional speakers out there know that is not the spot you want, because people are nice and kitty cat full and comfy, and they're purring and they're sleepy. But I'm the caffeine in your coffee, so I will wake you up. So I always tell them if they want me after that, it's fine. It's fine. I will, wake you up. Isn't that right, Paul? Yeah. Thank you for saying that. That is so sweet of you, Paul. Zach and Corey, Terry, you've spoken before about getting a foot back in the door at Imagineering after trying the front door as well. What is your best advice for getting to network with Imagineers? Honestly, write to them. Social media, Zach and Corey, is really a great way to connect with a lot of Imagineers. Also, D23 is coming up next year. See how positive I spoke? If you plan on going to a D23 event, and I'm not a fan of D23, Disneyana Fan Club, the Disneyana Fan Club is another way you can connect with Imagineers as well. And that's a lot more fun because it's more intimate. But let's say D23, for example, you want to meet some Imagineers that you haven't been able to do. Here is my hack for that. When the tickets become available, and just a few days ago, D23 announced that they were going to start selling tickets soon. So stay tuned. What happens is that they hopefully will have what they always have, which is called Vendors Alley or Hall A. This is people who are Disney collectors who sell Disney stuff, or Disney artists who sell Disney stuff in Hall A. And what you want to do is you want to get, if you can afford it, get a 3-day pass. If you can't, then consider 2 days. And if you can only go 1 day, then it could be Saturday. But I'm going to assume that you're saving your money in a jar to go to D23, and you're going to try for Friday and Saturday, let's say. Going to the events, if you're not paying for the sorcerer position, which is like several $1,000s, then you're going to get a regular ticket. Then one of the ways to meet these Imagineers is to go to Hall A. And this is what you do. On Friday, you walk around to all the vendors in Hall A. They usually have a flyer or a setup with a list of people who will be at their locations. So in the case of my dear friend Linda Swisher, she'll have Margaret Carey. She'll have the voice of Bambi. She'll have Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy. She'll have Bob Gurr, Imagineer, all kinds of people, let's just say. If you are Mice Chat, you love Mice Chat, and you love Dusty Sage, he usually has people like me. He has Bob Gurr. He has Marty Sklar. He has et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The point is they list who will be at that booth location in Hall A and what time they will be there. On Friday, you go all around, and with your phone, you take a picture of that calendar, okay? Click, 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 click. Make this your mission. Send your kids out. They go this side of Hall A. You take the middle. They take the other side. Click, click, click this thing. Say hi to them. Click it, okay? Take a picture. Then you sit down and have a nice lunch and put that all in front of you and pick who you want to meet. Anyone you can't meet, or anyone who's super big, like a lot of people like to go to the Legends Awards, grab that, okay? Grab that ticket, all right? Because a lot of those legends don't end up on the floor. But I know Floyd Norman does, and a lot of times when I have a booth, a lot of the Imagineers come to see me, and it's great to hang out there, and you meet. They come by and say hello. You can say hello and do the same thing. The point I'm making is they're on the stage, and you may or may not get on the stage with a regular ticket. Those of you who have been to D23 know what I mean. But you can see them in Hall A, and you can get up as close as, hi, how are you, Tony Baxter, and Marty Sklar, and Mindy. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Joseph Yakovetic. Hi, Stacia Martin. You know what I mean? It's this, okay? In the case of the Disney Anna fan club, they're limited right now, but by May, maybe they'll be able to expand a bit and have a bit more people come. A lot of one-on-one because they're intimate. You're going to meet people like Mark Silverman, the one who did the voice for Tower of Terror, Rod Serling voice, and still does voices today. You're going to see Tony Baxter. He's usually wandering the halls. Marty used to come when Marty was alive. It's a great way to meet these Imagineers. Now, if you want to do it right now, and right now the challenge is the challenge, Google their names and see if there's a way you can reach out to them virtually. Okay. Look for virtual situations. You can ask them. You can say, hey, I have a question. If I wanted to reach out to you to do something for my club or organization, how would I do it? Look to see if they have a Facebook page or channel. You can, if you're my Facebook friend, look through my Rolodex and reach out to them. Do it politely, do it kindly, do it friendly. But this is a great way to contact other Imagineers, you know. And all you have to do is say, you know, you don't want to just say, hi, Imagineer, gimme, gimme, gimme. You want to say, can I take you to lunch? Can I take you to breakfast? Bob Gurr says he hasn't paid for food since, you know, he was like 9 years old or something. So you offer to buy them lunch, dinner, or coffee or whatever, and you invite them out. And this is a great way to do it. You know, this is a great way to do it. Willie Ito, the amazing Willie Ito. A great way to meet Willie is on July 17th because that's his birthday. And it's also what? Disney's birthday. So there's a very good chance you can find Willie Ito in the park at that time. And you can say, hey, you know. So you just kind of learn about each Imagineer. And now you know from me that if you're at Disneyland and you want to see me or you're in the area, don't do it on the day of. I'm very busy. But if you're going to be a little ways away, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, and you say, hey, do you have time? I'm going to be here. I'll do my best to come see you. Sure. If I can do it. Yeah. And you buy me a coffee, buy me lunch, dinner, something like that. You just don't have to pay for my ticket now because I've got the Dream Key Pass. So I hope that helps, Zach and Corey. I hope that kind of helps you out. Well, Joel Christopher Payne, how are you? Now, Joel Christopher Payne is one of these people who is blowing it up on TikTok. So he's offered to help me blow it up on TikTok, but not in the next couple of months because I'm working on my Rolly Crump chess set and I am tunnel visioned. I'm going to get it done and then I'm going to sit and meet with Rolly and I'm going to record that so that everybody can see us and see his reaction. And then then we'll pre-sell the set. We'll let you know what the price is going to be and see how many are actually interested. And then we will get them made. And we're going to tell you some other ways, some other things, ideas we have too. So that's the first thing that's going to be happening. And because Rolly doesn't leave his home, he's invited me and my husband to go see him. So we will be doing that after I get the chess set roughed out and completed. Then I will actually take some pieces down and he can see what we're doing and make some choices. Yeah. So I'm very excited. That it's an honor. I mean, I don't know. Do you sculpt? Do you sculpt out there? Do you love Rolly Crump? And would you the one thing that has not been represented at all, really, except for in the Haunted Mansion, a little bit, is his Museum of the Weird. And he comes to you and says, would you like to do this as a chess set? I got to tell you, I cried. That was 15 years ago. I cried. I was so excited. I couldn't even breathe. So just so you know, this is a big one for me. This is huge. I love Rolly. He's a weirdo like me. We're weirdos together. Joel, so good to see you. Bewitched has actually got colorized season 1. It is. Season 1 is in color. What I'm saying is I had a black and white TV and that's why she wore those colors, is so they looked good in black and white. Now I realize, isn't that interesting? And they talked about that in WandaVision on Disney Plus, that they were wearing, when they were doing the black and white version, they were wearing weird colors. So it's cool. It's cool to hear about that because black and white is one of my favorite. So to create depth and interest in black and white, they did some fun things. So it was really, really awesome. The Harpo episode is awesome, says Joel. So we're with you on the Lucy, right? I just, can you imagine being Lucille Ball and getting to work opposite the Marx Brothers, Harpo Marx, and Lucy actually, as an actress, before she became I Love Lucy, she acted opposite some really heavy hitters as well. There were, I think as an actress, I wasn't as impressed by her. I like her much better as a comedian, and so did the rest of the world, obviously. But she really was opposite some heavy hitters. She got to work with some real rock stars. And I always thought about that. How cool is that she get to work with that person or that person or that person? Yeah. Yep. I know I'm going long today, guys, but there's lots of questions and I'm going to answer them. So don't feel bad if you have to go. I get it. Ultimate TV Classic. Exactly. And Carol too. Yes. So is Phyllis Diller and Joan Rivers. Yeah, I was always called Phyllis Diller because my hair was always out here. But yeah, Phyllis Diller was a great. Her husband, Fang. Remember that? Oh, it was great. It was great. Cindy, how are you? I try to take a day for myself, but a lot of times I end up saying, I'm just going to do one thing, and then the day's mine, and I end up doing, that's exactly right, Cindy. So do that on another day. Give yourself a whole day. It helps you to rekindle the flame and reset all that is off. So please do it. Please do one day in 7, because you're a lot like me. You're always doing. Take a moment, Cindy works with Willie Ito, and I think it would be great if, you and Willie take a day and you just chat, it with no motive in there. I'm sure you do anyway, because he's such a lovely person. But wow, what a great thing just to chill out and relax. Yeah. So please take one day and summon to rest Cindy. Terry, the Pair bus is called Disneyland Paris from Sketch to Reality. Michael. See, this is why we have people all together here. Look what Paul just did for you, Michael Roman. Disneyland Paris from Sketch to Reality. Now, he could have gone and looked it up, or he just may have an incredible memory retention. Knowing that it's Paul, it could be either one. Thank you, Paul. Okay, says Deanna. You can also go to one of the Be Our Guest events and meet the Imagineers, animators, and more. Even have dinner with them. And Francisca, that is Cindy's event. Well, they have some Be Our Guest events around that are not Cindy's, but the original idea, and I'm going to say it because Cindy won't, it was hers. Yeah, she's the one who made it. She brought all these Imagineers together, and you can do the Be Our Guest. So you saw Cindy was on here. Connect with her, because as soon as she can, as soon as she feels it's safe to do so, she's going to do another Be Our Guest. I know she's got that in the works. You can also reach out to Cindy. She's a very generous individual. So she'll chat with you on if there's a particular person you need to know. She'll give you some tips on how to get to them. She's real good about that. Aren't you, Cindy? Not on her day off, whatever day that is. David Lewis is a VIP usher and tour guide at Knott's Berry Farm and Pantages Theater. I got to meet some great talented people. Yes, David, and I hear you're in the rock star position. Everybody's telling me Knott's Berry Farm is the place to be at with a annual pass that is a good price. And I guess, is it a meal pass as well? I'm not quite sure, but you can get a lot of food for bargain prices if you have this particular thing that's like $150. It's very confusing to me, but it sounds really fun. The one thing is it doesn't have the chicken dinner on it. That's the reason I go to Knott's Berry Farm, is boysenberry, a la mode, and the chicken dinner. Those are my 2 favorite things about Knott's Berry Farm, David. But now I should come and see you and see how you're doing there when I finally get out. Yeah, see? Cindy's there. This is Cindy right here. Cindy. And she is she was the creator of the Be Our Guest dinner. And remember I told you about haters? She had a few. Yeah, and she just kept going. In fact, the very first Be Our Guest dinner, she had me at it. I was one of the Imagineers. And that was great. We had it in downtown Disney, didn't we, Cindy? So anyway, like I was saying before, and it is a good thing. I will say that to Zach and Corey. Corey? Yeah. Zach and Corey, reach out to Cindy. Cindy, and she'll help you too. She's just very generous. She's not going to hand you the key to the city. Go be of service to her. Don't just, I know you won't, but so many people have that. So I am working on a panel discussion meet and greet for 20th anniversary of Atlantis. Well, there you go. I'd love to know more. So let me know. Okay, Cindy, keep me in the loop on that. Okay. I'd love to know more about that. I did, but worked past the haters. And she always does. She always did. She just didn't, she just kept on trucking, she kept swimming, one foot in front of the other, and that's what you need to do. If you believe in something, you just go for it. You're welcome, Cindy, all the time. Please do. See, she's telling you, Zach and Corey, go for it. Reach out to her. She's very generous. She's very, very, she'll even help you if you want to do there's a group of young ladies who all want to have, I think they're with UCLA, aren't they, Cindy, that have asked her to gather some people so that the UCLA can interview us and talk to us about stuff. And Cindy is usually at the helm of that. She's driving that Jungle Book cruise. And we're all in the back going, yeah, we'll do it. So she's a great resource when it comes to Imagineers. I will. It'll be this year. Yeah. So she's a great person. She's a great person. Guys, I have talked for close to 3 hours today. That's the longest I've ever talked on one of these in a long time. I was trying to keep it to an hour and a half. Maybe I'll hold some questions at a later time if I want to get strict about that hour and a half. But honestly, I wanted to talk to you today. What I may do is, I don't know. There's so much happening here that my mind is like swirling around like the galaxy. So many things I'm up to. For those of you who came in on the back end, yes, the UCLA, and you didn't get to see him as I sign off. Here he is, my Mickey Mouse that I am doing for the Disneyana fan club, Robo Mickey, Cyborg Mickey, and here he is, dusted in his battle armor look. And I thought, this is for the Disneyana fan club. If you have a charity and you have something you want me to either paint for your auction or event, or create for your auction or event, reach out to me and we'll see what we can do for you, okay? But here he is, isn't he cute? He's not super shiny anymore. He has that buffing like a little spaceship. Next is his line work, and I'm looking really forward to that. So I hope you had a lovely time. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, those of you who stayed the whole gambit with me today. I love you guys. We'll talk soon. And as Deanna says, have a great weekend, all. Who will win the German election? I don't know. Who do you think? I love you guys. Have a lovely weekend. Talk to you soon. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. More on Monday. Talk soon. Hugs and kisses. Take care. Bye for now.